Greetings, Commanders! Welcome to Kerrash Landing, the Elite Dangerous Community Show. Commander Kerrash here, as always, and as this was going to be the 150th episode, I arranged a very special guest tonight. I'm very pleased to introduce Mark Allen, PrimeNine. How are you doing, my friend?
Hello, good evening, Commanders.
It's lovely to have you on again. Thank you very much for agreeing to do this. So, I know you...
It's my pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's absolutely lovely to have you. And I know you've been in a lot of the chats. You've been in my chat, you've been in Fiery Toad's chats and things like that. But for those of you who might not have heard your voice before, when you just say a little bit. I mean, what's your job title at Frontier, and what sort of things you do?
So I'm I'm the senior gameplay programmer for Elite Dangerous at Frontier, which most of the time means I'm sitting between designers and the rest of the gameplay team and other core coders, and helping the designer's vision get made, basically.
Excellent. I must admit that there's so many layers to game development. I think people don't realise what going in. Everyone kind of just puts things into ballpark categories, don't they, from the outside? So from what you're saying is, I mean, I know with like Sarah Jane, she does the kind of like low-level manoeuvring mechanics and things like that, doesn't she? And
Yes.
but your kind of work is more towards the deciding like the balancing and the how would you say it? Like the probabilities of certain events and happening in game. Would that be an accurate?
Those are certain areas that I've touched. Yeah, I mean the areas that I'm mostly involved with have been things like the flight model of all the ships is my code. All of the mechanics for weapons and damage, and basically most of combat, because that's part of where I love lead.
Excellent. Well,
And then I do other more sort of structural behind the scenes things, and let the rest of the team fill in.
Excellent. And we were just talking in the chat earlier on, so your bug report this week made the headlines, which fortunately...
Oops.
Well, like we were saying, it's one of those really, really difficult, rare things to identify and capture, isn't it? But that's now been sorted. So
After the fact, I always think I really should have caught that. But looking back, it wasn't likely.
Yeah, I mean, near on impossible to nail down every possible thing. I mean, when you consider something like Elite, the complexity of the game, it's a miracle that it all holds together, really, isn't it? It takes a lot of hard effort and work to get it to that sort of situation. So, I mean,
I've been a senior programmer on the project since early 2013.
Oh, crikey!
Neck deep in it all that time, 100% on Elite, and I still wouldn't say I know all of the code by a long way.
No.
Or even all the systems.
No, and I mean, like you said, I mean, with the project from the Kickstarter, it goes back that far. But further than that, I mean, it's kind of been a skunkworks project for many, many years, hasn't it? Probably at least a decade. And of course, the Cobra engine is something which is kind of been layered on for many, many years as well. All of the other games that Frontier have been built have all kind of contributed to the code base. So it's I can imagine it is a monster. I've seen some code bases, but nothing like that.
Just seeing Dirk-D74's question as to what's my reaction when finding the root cause. I was actually at home getting dressed at the time, so it was a lot of very strange expressions hidden by a t-shirt. It's one of those problems that I spent a day and a half just cramming information into my head hoping something would work.
Yeah.
And then 12 hours later, after not thinking about it,
that one.
Oh.
And I think a lot of us in the chat, I mean, we kind of work in similar fields as well, and I think we've all had one of those moments where you see things like that, and it's really frustrating. But it was something strange to do with it was causing the NPCs to kind of swap stats for various modules, wasn't it? So you would end up with like a railgun with the rate of fire of a burst laser or something like that. It's just,
it got to the point where everything inside the weapon thought it was one weapon, everything outside of it thought it was a different weapon.
Oops. Yeah, so getting lots and lots of railgun slugs at your head at that sort of rate is not fun. Not fun. But I did see some very interesting YouTube videos over the last week. But it's all good news. Of course, there's one thing which is in the newsletter tonight, which we'll get onto shortly. Which fortunately, the Pilots Federation is a much better insurance company than my own from my car, and they are reimbursing everyone who is hit the rebuy screen since the 2.1 update. They're going to get all their cash back for the insurance. So that's a great thing. That's nice.
And no, it wasn't a typo Saturn 9, but it was only about a 6-line of code fix.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's silly how something
Just
so.
Yeah, you just need to know which 6 to type.
Yeah, exactly. Which ones and what to type in to fix it. Yeah, exactly. But I know things like that. It's just you can't believe that it's. I mean, normally I am absolutely prone to the usual kind of off by one errors. I'm forever doing those. Just really frustrates me when I realise I've done that. And one of my favourite ones I'm always doing, particularly when I'm writing in C#, is getting my Boolean predicates backwards. So not doing the not of something rather than the and I just get it completely wrong. End up doing the opposite calls of what I'm trying to do, which is frustrating.
Yeah, the one I always get is whenever we end up calling through to the low-level C string functions, and string comparison is always returning a number. I never remember quite what that number means without looking at reference.
Yeah, I know. What was that? I'm always kicking myself on. There's always a couple of things that I always get completely wrong on it. It's crazy. No, Tola, sorry, Tola, I got a little bit of noise coming through. I think that's there on coming through on Mark's speakers. Let me just adjust that slightly. Sorry for that. It's
adjust my mic as well by the sound.
Is it? No worries. It's only an exclamation mark. Exactly, Saturnine. That's what I keep doing. I keep putting an exclamation mark in front of my Boolean predicates and getting it wrong and doing the opposite of what I intend to do. And I'm forever doing that. And it's not until I actually run through and step through the code and I'm like, yeah, I've got 2 in place where I'm like, forever doing that. Petra saying that the fair result of that bug is both terrifying and beautiful. Yeah, there was some really fun effects that I saw on some of the YouTube videos of that going off. People chaffing all over the place, left, right, and centre. Oh, Mrs. K is in the chat. Hello, Mrs. K. She's downstairs. She must be on the iPad or something like that. What's that? Oh, fuel scooping.
I've got my volume a fair bit lower now. I shouldn't be bleeding through.
Cool, no problem. Did we get that tweet on that? What's this then? So DJ Tartan has found the thug. That looks like a satellite dish. Is that a satellite dish? I think that is. Let's get that full screen for everyone on there. Looks like it.
I don't know what that is.
That's a strange
Eagle,
one. It is, yeah. It's an Imperial Courier. I think that's a courier. Yeah. But that's an interesting one. I like that one. But I have found, a couple of people have put up some pictures of like the satellite dish and things like that. There you go. Someone said, yes, it's a satellite. See, DJ, you're trolling us. But I've said there's some really interesting little things popping up that I didn't even realise were in 2.1 popping out. There's some nice things in the newsletter this week as well. We'll put some of those pictures up in a second whilst I'm jumping.
It wouldn't be fun if we enhanced everything that was
good. Yeah, exactly. You've got to hold on to the little tidbits of information. Absolutely. And this is the thing I was trying to help you. Everyone was always clamouring after all of the information, and I've always said right from the very beginning that the part of the joy of Elite is discovering things. That's one of the key things that makes the game what it is. So, being the first person to find something that no one else has found is a real joy, and I love it. It's almost like in a puzzle game where you manage to solve something that was absolutely racking your brain for so long, and then suddenly you crack it, and it's that kind of feeling, and that's great. Oh, there's Snoz. I see Snoz in the chat. Hello. How is our Lord and Saviour Alvin? How's he doing? I hope he's better. Am I too loud? Am I too loud now? I'll turn myself down a little bit if I'm too loud. I think that might be the problem. I adjust myself slightly.
I'm also being a bit quiet as I try and avoid driving straight into stars.
No, that's okay. I always try and tweak it right every time we get it. We did test it, didn't we, Mark? We tested it beforehand, but it's like it comes across fine, and I'll play it back, and it's okay. But then until you actually run it through, it's very difficult to make sure.
Yeah.
But that's Mike Snarls is saying that's normal. Yes, I am loud. I'm feeling a lot more myself this week. I know I've not been great the last few weeks. Yeah, it was just such a stupid little thing. It's just kind of fatigue in my neck muscles and things causing headaches and it was horrible, absolutely horrible. But back to normal. Am I always this loud? I am this loud, Saturnine. Yeah, I am. when I'm enthusiastic. Hug Monster, greetings. Nice to see you on there. Louder than normal, am I? Okay. Mic boost. Am I? Let me check. Let's see if my audio's gone off. No, mic boost is at the normal level. I'll bring it down a little bit. I'll sit back a little bit. Calm down. Bring. Just hold in the squee. Hold in the squee. That's what I meant. So I'm heading out. Hopefully we can meet up in somewhere in the game shortly. Whilst I'm fuel scooping low, let's jump onto the newsletter. Newsletter 127 for this week.
I'm currently heading towards the community goals, as you mentioned. I think I'm
Excellent.
12 jumps out from my head at the moment.
Oh, excellent. Right here. I think I've got about 8 or 9 myself, so I
These
should
are very tiny
be good.
jumps coming further ones.
Yeah, like I said, a federal assault ship, so it's okay. It's got about 16 light years on it. It's not too bad, but I mean that is what the engineers is all about, isn't it? That's one of the benefits, is that I can boost my FSD. I did have someone come and message me and say, it's like, you know, why are you trying to increase the boost, the jump range on a federal assault ship? Why do you want to do that, not an explorer ship? And it's like, well, why not? I can do it on every module on the federal assault ship. If I get extra jump range, great, brilliant. So it means I can get to the battles quicker. So excellent.
Mike Snores, I'm certainly planning to go to LaveCon, yes.
Yeah!
Can't 100% confirm it yet, but it's the plan.
Oh, excellent! That'd be great to meet you. I can't wait for LaveCon. I've been psyching myself up for that all year. It's going to be brilliant.
Yeah, I got all into a bit of a stressy mess and missed last year's, but this year should be good.
Yeah, it should be. It should be good. I mean, I think there's crikey. I think double the number of people that have kind of thing. It's hundreds of people, literally hundreds of people coming over the weekend. It's going to be fantastic, though. It's going to be great fun, and I'm just going to enjoy.
They have to bring a disguise.
Yeah, I would see. I was chatting to my cousin. She does a lot of like cosplay stuff, and I was very, very tempted to kind of sort out some cosplay this year. I really wanted to do it, kind of just show up with like the helmet on from the from the trailers. It'd be absolutely brilliant. I would love to do it, but I've not had the time to sort that out. One time, maybe next year. Maybe next year I'll do that.
I wonder if Michael showed up with that axe.
Oh yeah, if he does, I'm going to stay out of his reach. That thing looks deadly. Looks absolutely deadly. But it is awesome.
Sort of, at first thought it made me want to have some armour at work, and then I realised that it wouldn't matter unless it was power armour.
Yeah, exactly. It goes straight through it. It's no, awesome. I've been following on his Facebook, been putting pictures up of that on there. Oh, scary looking thing. Ah, dear. Yes, Hug Monster. That is the one and only PrimeNine.
Hello, Hug Monster.
Greetings, Commander. Let's jump back to the newsletter then very quickly. Sorry, yeah, so as I was saying, lots of new and interesting things coming into 2.1. I love this picture here, this crashed diamond black on a planet's surface. I've not found any shipwrecks at the moment. I have been kind of hovering around a little bit in my SRV, scouting the surfaces, but unfortunately I've not found one yet. I love the details on those kind of things, though. Like you're saying, the cracked effects on the surface and stuff. Of course, this is all stuff that the new shaders have allowed you to do, haven't it, really, from the art guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not directly involved in most of the planet things. They make it look pretty, and then me and my team work out what to put on it.
Yeah, and how to make it run it performantly, sort of thing. We
do part of that. Well,
yeah.
Again, the performance of the surface themselves is up to them, and then making sure that, for example, AI can work out where the ground is and not crash into it is more our side.
Yeah. Oh god, collision detection. I must have, I've done a little bit of that in the past, but I've had conversations with some other people and stuff. I mean, what fascinates me, I think, was the in the asteroid fields. I mean, that must be an absolute, literally a minefield, a three-dimensional minefield to get that to work. I mean, I can't even.
Yeah, I mean, there's a fairly robust physics engine underneath that gives us a lot of the tools. We just need to say, is there anything in this sphere or on this ray or etc. But it's still it can be a problem knowing exactly how many raycasts you can do before the processor says nope, going home.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's crikey. Like I said, I've done one or two small projects or things like that, but nothing to that kind of magnitude. I can imagine that's very, very difficult to get that right. But yeah, it's nice to see that. I've noticed there's a couple of tweaks. I mean, one thing I think might be related to that actually was now that I've seen when my Anaconda picked me back up when I was in the SRV, it can hover. Is that something which is new for 2.1?
I lose track of what actually went into the final branch at what point. It's definitely something. I know who was working on that stuff, and yeah, he did a lot of. It took quite a long time to get the AI able to sort of scan the area around your SRV to find an appropriately flat area.
Yeah.
Or if it fails, it'll decide to hover instead.
Yeah.
Find a suitable place to land.
Because I mean, I had a couple of problems with that. I think it was in 2.0 and 1.6 and 1.5, wasn't it? Yeah, where I kind of in ridiculously rough terrain areas, or I just kind of like call it in, and too lazy to drive a few kilometers to that flat patch just on the horizon there. Just call it in. And I was really pleased to see that it came over and it just kind of it sat there a few meters above me and just kind of hovering on there, which was really nice to see. But it's I think that's one of the lovely things about 2.1 is it's all these kind of quality of life improvements, which just made the game so much easier to get to these features and things.
Yeah, it's something I'd love to be able to sort of do more often. But at the end of the year, after 2.0 came out, and then we were all sort of getting a ducks in a row for what 2.1 was going to be and starting up things I probably can't talk about. But there was a fairly wide period where a lot of people just had the chance to look at the bugs that were annoying them, or here's a list of quality of life things that we really want to get done, and just space to do those. And you can see the result. Yeah,
absolutely. And that's the thing. Sometimes that it comes up quite often on the stream, and people ask him, why isn't this fixed? Why isn't that fixed? And it's a case of prioritization, isn't it? That's the simple matter of it. It's such a big bucket list of things that want to be done and need to be done, and it's just kind of slotting them into those silos. What could be fit? And I mean, many times it's been said on the official live streams as well. Oftentimes you can't fit two big things together. So maybe it's just one big thing, and a few little things are kind of fit into that sprint cycle, or however whatever works for the team, isn't it?
I really hope I didn't just put myself in a situation where I need the fuel rats. I wasn't paying attention to the fuel one.
Oh dear, I can probably meet you, but I've not got a. I'll have to refit with a. Olympic controller. I haven't got one.
No, I think I just need to go one star back. I didn't refuel.
Oh, okay.
Just got to figure out what star it was I left.
Oopsie. Well, that's fine.
Maybe my next target system has something I can refuel in it.
I hope so.
I'd have about 3 pixels of fuel left if it doesn't. So.
Excellent. Is there... Birds are procedural. Greetings, Commander. Nice to see you there. Is there possibility of crossplay? No. That's Fire Toes just answered there. It's not at the moment. Crossplay is not supported across platforms. But on that subject, actually, congratulations for the successful release of 2.1 on Xbox. On Xbox One. It's excellent. It's lovely to see it.
Welcome to our Xbox friends.
Yay! I've always been a proponent of kind of just platform parity. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and as it was said on the live stream yesterday, it actually makes it easier for you guys, doesn't it? Everything's in sync now. Everyone's on the same playing grade. So I think
sort of makes it easier on one side and harder on a different side. It's all give or take.
Yeah. But no, it is fantastic to see, and an amazing achievement as well. I mean, considering the hardware that you've got available on the Xbox platform, I think it's absolutely amazing that you've managed to squeeze the performance to get what you need out of it.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's where the Planet team worked wonders.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's one of the things that I absolutely love about 2.1 is the fact that not only do all the surfaces look phenomenally better as well, even from the 2.1 update, 2.0 update to 2.1, they look so much better. And they actually perform better as well, which is crazy. But it's just one of those things. It's just one of you go back and you look at something and you just kind of have one of these brainwaves where it's like, well, yeah, actually we can just simplify this and get a better effect out of it. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, with a big project like that, you do it once, you almost always learn how to do it a bit better the next time round. And with a game that's constantly alive and evolving like Elite, we can go back and put what we learn into practice.
Excellent. Yeah, it's constantly iterative. I mean, that's the thing that I've always kind of championed about Elite right from the very beginning. The Kickstarter is just the methodology just makes sense to me. It's something which I can absolutely get on board with. This idea of just constantly iterating, getting a good solid foundation and then just iterating on it. And I think that's something that Frontier have just proven that they're really, really fantastic with. So I mean, hats off to you guys for that. I must admit, it's lovely to see the project kind of evolving over time.
And I mean, on the subject of things like getting it on Xbox, I spent quite a long time during sort of 1.3 and 1.4 times doing a lot of optimization for the game side code, so it would work on Xbox, which then feed back into a huge performance win for PC players.
Exactly, yeah, and that was something which I think that came up quite a few times in the newsletters before, and it's, I know I'm always quick to point people out on the forums as well, because you have the people which are kind of negative towards other platforms. You always have it. There's always the us and them mentality on the internet. That's that's the internet for you. But I've always said to people, it's like, it's actually fantastic that it's being developed for all these different platforms, because, like you said, these kind of win-win kind of benefits come out of it, where you can bring some of that knowledge you've brought in from other platforms and apply it to things, I think, to improve it for everyone, which is great. It's really awesome.
I still remember a lovely quote. I can't remember which gaming news site it was, but when the specs for the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 were being announced, that basically summarised, said, well, they're both just PCs in dresses, so we declare victory.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's one way to look at it. They
are very, very similar these days, technically.
Yeah, it's all x86 hardware, isn't it? It's all AMD processors through and through. I mean, there are a few differences, I must admit, on the PS4.
There are, yes. Yeah. But they're a lot more similar than they have been at any point in my career.
Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, from back in the days of the initial generation of console wars, it's definitely a much more level playing field now, which is great to see. Like you said, it just allows that kind of innovation for game developers to just be able to quite comfortably support multiple platforms, which is awesome. Someone was just saying, who was that in the chat? I've missed your name now. Who was it? Who just said E3? Petrus saying fingers crossed for E3 with the PlayStation 4. I am not gonna. That's gonna need the speculation banner.
Lots of whistling.
It would be lovely. It would be absolutely lovely to get it. Like I said, I'm a big proponent of getting it onto as many platforms as possible. The original game was literally on everything. So I think I've got it on at least 3 platforms myself. I think Commodore, Spectrum, and NES. So it would be lovely to see it on as many platforms as possible. It would be absolutely awesome. What else have we missed on there? So what's the same Saturnine saying? It's not feasible. What's this? Talking about the dreaded offline mode. I don't think this.
It's Saturnine's next question of what's the average size of a star system. That's a really hard question to answer. What do you mean by star system? Because in one sense, it's a 64-bit number defining its seed. In other senses, it's a hell of a lot more. Yeah,
I was going to say, if you actually roll it out and actually generate the geometry for everything in that star system, that's a lot of data. That's buy a few petabyte SAN drives to store it all.
I mean, if you actually look at the amount of data in the release game, and you can dig into resources and see this, the Galaxy is, I think it's about 50 or 60 megabytes.
Wow, just for like
which is a map of sort of known stars and that kind of thing that is just data we didn't want to procedurally generate.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose that's crazy though. That's so well compressed. That's mind blowing. Sorry.
Sorry, I say that's most of the Galaxy, and then things like the 3D textures for the nebula are quite a lot larger.
Yeah, of course, because obviously they're there's a few procedurally generated nebula, isn't there? There's quite a few of those, isn't there? But then there's the ones which are kind of handcrafted, well known, like Barnard's Loop and things like that, which are
voxel data's not cheap.
No, it's kind of like that's quite a bit bigger. So that's done with 3D textures, and I thought it was. Looking at the technique, it looked like something I'd done before with 3D textures.
I don't know the full details, but
excellent. But
yes,
50 megabytes. So that's crazy. Just forget it. But I mean, you can look at the.
I mean, most of it's just a sort of actually quite similar to how the original Elite worked, I believe, of effectively having a density map for the that looks roughly like the Milky Way, and then lots of algorithms to fill in the gaps.
Yeah, and there was something similar that was done on, I think it was Frontier on the Amiga. I think it was the Galaxy map itself started with I think it was a 128 square grayscale bitmap, which effectively defined the density of the regions, and then kind of the procedural algorithms it filled in like that. So kind of a similar technique, I suppose, isn't it? But obviously extending it. I was going to say extending it into the third dimension and kind of making it a lot more complex. But similar, which makes absolute sense to iterate on that. I think people just chatting there saying about. I think they're talking about the if if they're going where I think they are, they're talking about this idea of being able to play offline. You're talking about multiple terabytes for the exploration database. I think it's going to be way beyond.
When
that.
I say the Galaxy fits into that, I mean just the basic stellar data. That would have none of the political simulation or many other things.
Yeah.
I'm not even qualified to talk about how big that is. I don't honestly know.
No, and I think
you want to pester Dav about.
yeah, absolutely. And I think of the like you said, I mean, the 50 megabytes. We've all got that on our hard drives anyway, because that's the game needs that to be able to generate the Galaxy. Identically across all the platforms, doesn't it? So it's we've all got that. that's not going to help you at all. Oh, is that Mrs. K is heading off now?
And as Shaneri points out, that is completely immutable. The server does sort of tell the client a lot of differences since the immutable version was set in stone.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's constantly evolving and changing, and I think that's the things that people don't appreciate. That the Galaxy is not static by any means. Everything is up for grabs, and it is constantly adjusting. Not just the power play stuff, but all of the background simulation elements, and just having that little tag for the player data, just to say that you've discovered that is a huge data set, and it's just going to keep getting bigger.
There is a reason we usually don't copy it for beta snapshots.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's come back in 72 hours, give or take. Satellite said, how do you update all of that data? I think the server's kind of... that's more of a Dav question again, isn't it? Kind of iterating over the data sets on there.
So the remit for me stops. I deal with a lot of stuff on the client and on the instancing servers, which is also responsible for generating scenarios and that kind of thing. Once it gets up to big Galaxy level stuff, I point at Dav and he does a fantastic job with it.
Yeah, that's why he has the lab coat. That's but no, it's again. See, this is what I mean. Is that I think for a lot of people, it's kind of it's a black box, really. A lot of people don't understand that there's so many layers to getting the game working the way it is. Like, people don't understand that there's actually a massive difference in what you would do in programming wise compared to someone else on the team. And I think that's one of the nice things to kind of get that insight to it. To be honest, is it kind of shines a little light on the fact that actually you can have whole divisions of people working on different areas like physics, AI, sound as well. Because I mean, obviously the Jim and the sound team do a lot of coding as well for the sound.
There's a separate group of. I'm going to insult someone if I get this wrong. I think 3 audio programmers currently.
Wow!
But we've had a couple of new starters there and some transfers. I'm sorry if I got that wrong, but yeah, there's a dedicated team for audio programming and GUI programming.
It's just
Physics is more shared with the engine team, but there's definitely people who know more about physics than others.
But yeah, it's fascinating though for me because a lot of the projects I've worked on myself are very, very small scale. So it's it tends to be just one guy's the lead, and then you have a small team working on it. But to have something which is such a large team, I mean, at last count, I think on the live stream that Ed did was over 100 people or so working on Elite. Day in, day out.
Start including QA, definitely.
Yeah, it's crazy, it's madness. But I mean, it just goes to show that when you work as a well-oiled team, you can get stuff out. Which is it just 2.1 is a fantastic update, and there's so much new stuff in there, which is awesome to see. And I think again, it's just a kind of proves that Frontier work very well together to make that happen.
DJ Tarjan, the Alien team. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Who are they? What? We don't mention. See, we need a drink.
Any Ridley Scott projects here.
Yeah, exactly. Wait a minute. There's a Ridley Scott station. But actually, you've got a whole team specifically for that station. We need a drink word for this evening. I wonder what we can use as the drink word. I don't want to use the T word. Royal hanky.
I'd have a lot in silence if that was the case.
La, 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 la. I know nothing. What's that? Snoz is saying the Hutton team have done an awful lot of work on the background simulation. Yes. I've been following along on the Facebook groups on that. There are some really cool things coming up. Actually, I know there's a few guys that have been asking me all at the same time. This is the problem. I love helping out all of these groups, but they all want me to help at the same time. And now with the dangerous games coming out, it's like, which one do I help? I was like, I want to help everyone, but there's not hours in the day. I can't do it all, which is a big shame. But what have we got here? Rebel transmissions. Someone is.
Yeah, the BGS is always an interesting thing to sort of almost watch. In my case, I don't get directly involved with most of what's happening, but I'm sort of witness to a lot of discussions between Mike, Sandy, Dav, and some of the other people involved, and it's a lot more involved than I think a lot of people give it credit for.
Yeah, I think it's a shame that it doesn't get as much as a highlight as some other things. Actually, I think because it's nice to see that those things are starting to take the foreground more. I think the events that Zach and Ed have been planning are really kind of starting to highlight some of the like you said, the effort that goes into making these things actually work, and it's just lovely to see, because I think this is something which I've been saying to people from the very beginning, that if you want to make a difference in the galaxy, you absolutely can do it, but you're going to need to arrange a large group of people to make that happen. I think that's something that a lot of people have missed. I think people have come at the game and approached it like they would any other normal single player game, thinking that they could be the hero. They could make their mark on the galaxy just by
it's a different game to that. I mean, there's other games that I could name several, but I'm not going to right now, that are fantastic, but almost sort of they make you the main character and give you a power trip through the galaxy as much as anything else. Whereas Elite, we kind of take great pleasure in showing you the galaxy is massive. Or not.
You are a completely insignificant speck of dust. That's what you are.
Go and make your place in it.
Yeah, absolutely. And
you're going to have to fight for every inch.
Yes, absolutely, and that's what I love about it. That's what I think is fantastic. Is it's it really does just make you feel so kind of alone, even when you're working closely near the bubble sort of thing. You do really feel very isolated, and I think this is just such a refreshing change from most games, making you the hero, which is nice. And as we can see, I was talking about the size of the galaxy on here. We've got some more screenshots from the newsletter as well. Commander Ginkanov here, which is. Planned a route out. Again, one of the fantastic quality of life improvements they've gone into 2.1, and I have absolutely loved this in 2.1, is putting the bookmarks out there. So many bookmarks I have slapped down now. Just I think I've just gone bookmark crazy. It's like I can do it all. I can slap it everywhere. So I've literally just been parking them around. I found some really nice firsts. I went out on a little tour. I didn't quite get to Sajay, but I was having a quick look around. I found an Earth-like world near a black hole, which was quite nice. That was an interesting one.
I wouldn't want to live there.
No. I was going to say you're inevitably doomed, but nice view whilst you're being pulled in.
Spend a holiday there and come back a few decades later.
Yeah, as long as you've got your FSD handy to get back out, that's fine. And some really, really nice things I've been popping up on. I did notice that it's one of the subtle little things which I might have missed it on the changelog, to be honest, but the fact that there's a whole bunch of new 3D objects for things that you select in System List. Like you select a black hole and you see the shape of the accretion disk and it's animated and rotating. I don't know if that's something
I mean, the changelog is an interesting endeavour. It's basically something Mike pieces together from a mix of people telling him what they've changed and digging through SVN logs. But inevitably, sort of non-headline things get skipped, basically.
I can imagine there's literally thousands and thousands of things going on.
I mean, if you look at things like the 2.1 changelog, I've probably forgotten myself more of what's on it than there was in any other changelog. And I know for a fact it wasn't the complete changelog.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, it was a novel. I was reading through it and I tried to take as much as I could in, but it was literally sit down with a cup of tea and enjoy all of the features going in. But it's just nice to get in the game and see all the things that are in there. Actually, speaking,
and a lot of things you can see. Well, this is 10 lines in the changelog saying we've adjusted X, we've tweaked Y, a new Z been added. Until you actually get in game and see how they stick together and see, oh, that just makes such and such a feature feel different.
Yes.
It's not always clear what they mean.
Oh, I'm being interdicted now. Speaking of which, let's see how I fare against the new AI. We'll see.
I am now in Mahet, by the way. I'm just finding a station there to dock.
Okay.
What's going on?
I think I'm a few jumps away.
I just saw the interdiction pop up on stream.
let's see how I do. I see. Oh. See, I love the change that we've gone into the AI. Actually, I think just in a couple of streams ago on the beta, and I managed to have a little bit of a battle with a cobra. Not on the surface near a base, and I absolutely love the just the difference, the feeling of being in a gravity well and having to fight. Just that kind of you just do a kind of like an Immelman sort of maneuver or something like that and then you realise, oh crap, the ground's there. You kind of just have to think differently. You can't just maneuver around in 3 dimensions like we've been used to. That full kind of 6 degrees of freedom.
One of the streams that I joined you for and managed to persuade you to attack a base, which resulted in lots of dueling with a Viper.
Yeah.
Missiles.
It was great, I must admit. It's like, even though it ended in complete failure, I was absolutely loved every second of it. I think that's the bit that I can't stress enough. It felt really fun whilst it was happening elsewhere.
Well, there were a whole lot of meetings along the lines of, so how do we want to change settlements to be more fun, basically? And there's more changes coming. But one of the first things that I said was, I've been trying to find a reason to use missile-based point defences for months. Please,
please put missiles. I love that. I mean, that first salvo that came flying at me, I was like, oh shit, sort of moment. But it was absolutely fantastic. It was great to see it when it happened. And
there's actually a beam point defence in there as well somewhere. I'm not sure which settlement it's used on.
I want to get down and see some more of these things. I love finding things like that. Again, like I said, it's that discovery. It's finding these things and being surprised by what you find whilst you're out there. Absolutely awesome. I've got goodies. Oh, I love it. See,
goodies.
I love.
I haven't even got a cargo bay in this ship.
I was going to say, yeah, I've fitted this one out entirely with hull reinforcements and whatnot. So I've got no. Rare manufactured material. Nice. I'll have some of that. Too many shinies. This is the problem now. I spend all of my time just grabbing stuff. It's like every time a ship explodes, it's like hitting a piñata.
Loot piñata, which is what we tend to call treasure goblins in Diablo 3, actually.
I need to get back into Diablo 3. I haven't played it for a while, actually.
It's one of those games that I don't play very often, and then I get a completely obsessive month-long period where I do nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah, that tends to be the way I play games as well. I've just recently, I think, as with 90% of the internet, just recently got hold of Doom as well, and I've been playing that.
That is a fantastic shooter.
It's awesome. It just really takes you back to the originals. It's just that kind of running and gunning sort of pace to it. I love it. Absolutely love it.
I think my favourite description of it is, it's just Doom.
Yeah. Yep, that's it. I like that. I can get on board with that. Ooh, we've got shielding sensors.
Yeah, I'm currently neck deep in Total Warhammer, or Total War Warhammer as they insist on calling it.
Ah, yes. I was talking to Max Ursa about that just recently, actually. I think he's been playing that himself. Right here, how am I doing for fuel? I've got enough fuel, so I'll jump on over. I've got a few more jumps.
So, this community goal.
Yeah.
Order on all wanted ships in the Mehet system. Well, that suits me.
This, like I said, this is going to be my my big worry now. Is which one of these do I go for? Because of course they got all of the community goals which are lined up for the dangerous games, isn't it? So let me get the newsletter up on here quickly.
I'll be honest. As soon as I see a community goal that's telling me to shoot people,
grab it.
For anyone that doesn't know, I fly a third lance that is entirely kitted to murder stuff, carry no cargo. I'm not a pirate. I just want to have fun blowing things up.
Blow stuff up. And what's wrong with that? Nothing wrong with that at all. I'm not quite going to make it on my last jump, so I might just have to stop for fuel. 1 second.
I also use probably not the most effective combination of weapons, but when I play Elite, I go for what I like flying with, not necessarily what's most effective.
Do you know, I was the same myself when I started playing the game as well. I was just playing with all of the toys, just to see which ones I like, to be honest. So yeah. I'm exactly.
Well, I kind of have a different perspective because obviously I haven't actually used them on this account. But if I particularly wanted 7 billion credits, I suddenly have 7 billion credits.
These things happen.
It's kind of that knowledge it changes the focus of what I want to do with the game.
Yeah, that's Oh, DJ said something you predict with the player-controlled power is that they're going to destroy the NPC powers. Well, this is interesting. Actually, I saw Sandy was in the forums this week, and he was talking about I think it was Archon Delane's power was in a bit of a sorry state. I think it was approaching the collapse state again, or at least it's kind of skirted around the collapse state, and it's a potential that it could eventually disappear. So let's have a look at the. Archon's in 10th position at the moment.
You just spotted the 3 ships you got on your dashboard there. Excellent job.
Oh yes, yeah. We got. Of course, let me bring that up in the newsletter. Yes, the bobbleheads. The bobbleheads have been released. Where are they in the newsletter? We've got them here somewhere.
This is one case where I can't remember who I was talking to, but saying, I don't know why, we really should have ship bobbleheads.
Yes.
And then I discovered that they'd been made, and I just didn't know about them yet.
Again, such a huge team, so you can't possibly know everything that's going on in the company, can you? So, but yes, I do have the bobbleheads. I have the bobbleheads for all the 3 ships in that. That's fantastic, and that's eventually, hopefully, we can get a collection of all of them. Of course, hopefully that will be a thing. But it makes absolute sense to have it, doesn't it? I mean, it's the model's already there in game. It's just need to do the work to attach it to the object and everything like that. So,
well, they're going to be a different model. I mean,
like a low detail one.
Oh, well, there's a Sidewinder model. Oh, no, there isn't. I mean, at the very least, there's the one that you see if you're sat in it, and the one that you see third party are sort of different things. Then there's the schematic you've got for target or your own ship, and the loading screen model is a different thing again. Because they're all going to show up in different situations. They all need different levels of detail, different slightly exaggerated bits of geometry, different shaders, different all kinds of things.
It's crazy, isn't it? And again, that's some of these things that I don't think people realise, just like levels of detail and things like that. Because there were a lot of tweaks and changes to the stations early on, I remember, in some of the builds. And I think some of the initial builds, the performance was a little bit lower because the stations were using like the highest level of detail just throughout. And then eventually when some of these new kind of level of detail triggers got put in, so it was using some of the different models in there. It was, again, it's just, layers and layers of things which people don't realise go into making.
There's always a sort of tug of war between. Well, tug of war is maybe a bit too confrontationally, but programmers want to make it run at 60, designers want it to run at 60 or higher, and artists want to make it as pretty as possible. Yeah,
it's kind of that quality versus quick, and
I mean, they never sabotage frame rate or anything like that. That would be silly, but I mean. It's not always clear to someone who isn't a render programmer what it is that's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
So at one point we're looking at, so why is the Coriolis a bit slow? Oh, it's got 12,500 lights, right.
Whoa, yeah, that might cause a little bit of a bottleneck there, yes.
Which, to be fair, they're deferred lights, the game copes with them, but that's just a few too many.
Yeah, that's slightly exaggerated, I think, on there. But I mean, it's great to see that, like you said, the engine handles it quite nicely. I've seen some of the things I've built in Planet Coaster as well. It's really fantastic. You can literally just keep throwing things at it. It's just polygons out the wazoo sort of thing, and it's still just quite happily doing it. And again, it all comes down to the things like the level of detail and things like that, like a fantastic level of detail system which can cope with objects at those sort of quantities and poly counts and still kind of keep it performing well. Question. This is from DJ Tartan. Also, a thing you love with 2.1: the small ships are actually viable to use in PvE now, as you can dogfight with them. Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Yes, that's always very much a goal.
Yeah, I think I've even before any of the things came up for 2.1 or anything like that, I've always kind of professed that I have a bit of a nostalgic love affair with the older ships, particularly the Eagle. Is absolutely that is.
Well, I've said it before, and I will keep saying it. By far, the most fun combat experience I've ever had is an Eagle with 3 railguns.
Yeah, absolutely. Gotta love it.
It's silly, but it's just fantastic.
And it's just, like, so responsive, so manoeuvrable that you can get the drop on people with the railgun as well, isn't it? That's the great thing about the Eagle. Absolutely love it. But yeah, and DJ, that's what I absolutely love about it, and it's all going to get a lot more useful when we start going into multi-crew ship launch fighters, all those lovely goodies that are coming down the line, which I won't ask you to comment on. I was going to say, I'm not going to ask you anything about that, don't we? We won't go there. The Hugmaster, yeah, that's one of the things I love seeing on the Facebook groups and things like that as well. Like you say, you get these wow moments every time, and I still do, and it's lovely to see people posting things up in the Facebook groups saying that's like, sometimes you just sit back and you just kind of stare at the game. It's like, damn, it looks pretty. It's like it's fantastic.
If you look at sorry, you can't look at, but in our reception, there's now a cabinet of awards and pretty boxes and other things. The one that I still like most is the award that's actually titled "Whoa, is that real?"
Brilliant. I mean, absolutely deserved. I mean, it is fantastic to look at it, and I think, I again, going back to previous experiences, but I think the one time I was sat down with some press, I think it was at E3, and the reaction, I wish it was recorded. We couldn't record it. It was the reaction. It's like the guy just sits back in the chair and it's like, shit, that's real. It was that kind of reaction, and it was absolutely fantastic to see, I must admit. Right, I have arrived. I am in the Now In system, so let's get on over to this station now. That's not very far. 50 light seconds away. That's pretty good.
So where are you heading for? Now In, wherever that is.
To the McLeod hub. This is where the community goals are. Or am I pronouncing this wrong? It probably is. Is it now and in? Cool. So
I'm in the head, just aiming for resource extraction site at the moment.
Ah, right here. Okie dokie.
There's one with people I can shoot.
Fish sticks.
I haven't actually been dogfighting in a nice ring site in the real game yet.
Do you know? I haven't had a chance to do it since the beta. I wanted to get in there and do it. I've rebuilt my Federal Short Shot. I don't know if you were here for that stream when I hit Elite, and then I stupidly sold my ship.
No, I think I remember seeing you mention that, but I think I was away for the actual stream.
No, I'm such an idiot. I literally, I was going to leave the Federal Short Ship there as a kind of trophy for finishing it, and then sold it and jumped into a hauler. It's like, oh. But anyway, it gives me a good excuse to play around with these new huge multi-cannons, which I've been playing around. So, yeah, I love it. Yes, Royal Hanky, yes, I have got my
actually
Federal Short
refitted this ship since 2.1 came out, but I really should replace this plasma accelerator with a huge beam or a multi-cannon.
So many more toys to play with now. So this is the thing, I could literally spend an entire 2 hours just playing around in the new outfitting screens and just kind of tweaking all the... Oh, I dropped too early.
Yeah, it's another case of, well, we did a version a couple of years ago. We now have 2 years of feedback as to what we could have done differently, what we would like to do differently, and we have a much better outfitting now.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And again, it's like I said, it's that iteration. It's like you've got to kind of get something out, get a solid foundation, just a base that people can toy around with and kind of point out the things to you which may not be obvious. I think on the first passes, things like the filtering and the sorting by different categories and things like that. Because I don't believe that was in there in the initial outfitting, was it? I think that was one of the Season 1 updates?
There was a version of sorting in the last one, but it was added as a second step.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's just until you've got something there to look at and realise where it can be tweaked and improved, it's very hard to kind of come out of the gate with all guns blazing and get everything nailed in first shot, isn't it? And that's something, again, I don't think people realise, you get a lot of criticism on there sometimes on forums and things. It happens with everything, but it's very hard to see what things could be improved until you've actually got a working version of something out there. Oh!
And it's always easier to look at a thing that exists and decide how you would like it done differently than it is to start with a blank canvas and
come up with the best possible solution for something before you've even attempted to implement it once, which is right here. I mean,
what you actually see publicly is usually not the first attempt, because we have iteration cycles internally and that kind of thing. But yes.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was gonna say something I probably shouldn't.
No problem. Commander Grieft, nice to see you there. Greetings. Alright, let's go ahead and restock. What am I restocking? Oh, I fired a couple of shots, didn't I? There we go. Right, let's get on to the old mission board. Again, another one of those things which is fantastic to see in 2.1 as well. It's just the faces. That brings me back to my Frontier Elite days, and I love it. I love seeing the little faces on there. It's awesome.
So many wanted targets. I'm in heaven.
Yay! Pew pew, daka daka.
And they're all eagles, so they die in one half shot.
Boom, boom. And of course, that's
a wing of 6 of them. No.
yeah, maybe bring friends with that one. But no, I mean that's one of the things that was tweaked in the update today, wasn't it? 2.12 update went out today, and one of the things that was changed, I think, was the balance on the quantities of NPCs of given ranks. So it's more kind of towards the lower end.
Yeah, so I'm not actually 100% sure what changed in detail, but I know there was elite should be more rare. Sorry, should be rare and terrifying, ideally.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. I think it's getting that balance right, isn't it? That's what people need to appreciate. That you just can't have it so everything's really, really easy and everything's mostly harmless targets. It would just be totally boring, and then you get people that would complain about it being totally boring. But then if it was all elites, it would be the total opposite end of the spectrum. Yeah, exactly. And then no one would be enjoying anything because everyone would be getting blown up left, right, and centre. But it's getting that balance right, I think, is the thing which people need to understand, that takes time and it needs feedback. You need to get it out to the thousands of players that are playing every day and kind of say tell us what works and what, is it too much, is it too little, to get it to that sort of thing. Oh, we've got another one here. What's this?
The really hard part can often be, once we've got a version out and sort of trying to code feedback, one person's telling us that it's fantastic, someone else is telling us that they're way too hard, and someone else saying they're way too easy. Who's right?
Exactly.
Probably none of them are wrong. But there's a sort of... sorry, as I crash into an asteroid.
Oh, wait.
There's difficult opinions to balance there.
Yeah, and again, it's balance on that respect as well. It's looking at the kind of weighing up the responses from the population of player base, isn't it? And kind of saying that that if 80% of the players are saying that they like this particular thing, then maybe you can ignore the 20% that say they don't for whatever reasons, because it's hitting the mark in terms of it satisfying the majority of player base. But if you had some
equally, if you do have that 80-20 situation, but the 80% are saying they love the challenge of the AI and the 20% are saying they dislike a particular manoeuvre the AI is doing, then that's an indicator that probably that manoeuvre is an issue.
Yeah.
Or maybe we need to look at something more targeted, but overall the AI is well placed.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's not always you don't always piss someone off by fixing a different bug or different balancing issue or...
Yeah, it's like I said, a very, very difficult balance to get it absolutely right. But I absolutely stand by the change.
The amount of time I spend in streams is really handy, because it's one thing looking at reports from forums, people saying this is too hard, this is too easy. If I can watch someone playing, usually when they don't know I'm watching, and can see, well, yeah, they got killed by that in a way that probably wasn't very fun, or no, that was just they made a mistake, or combination thereof. It sort of gives us some very useful input. Yeah,
absolutely. I think it's fantastic. This day and age, I think it makes me sound old saying that, but you know what I mean. with modern thing, people can just upload videos to YouTube to give you like direct feedback and things like that. Being able to, like you said, like you can watch Twitch, you can see people in the wild doing something, and I think that's one of the most important things at 2.1 is putting things in front of the players that may not have been obvious, isn't it? Kind of making your choices and the results of those choices more apparent to the player was one of the big drivers for 2.1, and I think that's great. And it's nice that you can, like you said, you can see people playing it firsthand and kind of see them missing the things. And I imagine for you guys it must be incredibly frustrating. You're kind of watching people. It's like no, it's like it's right there. Just dig a little deeper. Go to a few more signal sources. Do.
Yeah, actually, I do remember. This is quite a long time ago now when 1.2 came out, adding wings, and I was sitting in Toad's stream, so trying to help explain how it worked, and it was really difficult because I was thinking, no, you just push that button. Oh, how do I explain that button? I know what the controls are, but how do I explain them?
Yeah, and that's one of the things that, like you said, until you actually see someone who has had no experience kind of fumble through it and kind of see it with the first time. It's fantastically
useful to get people either from other teams or from other bits of the project who have never touched a thing and just say, so what do you think of when you see this?
Yeah, absolutely. Get that fresh eyes, fresh kind of experience on there, and
quite often it's I would never have even thought to ask that question.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But and that's kind of the thing, isn't it? When you're so close to a particular feature or a project, isn't it? You just kind of you miss the wider view of things, and it's very hard to kind of see it from an external point of view. So it's nice to see there is kind of the feedback is very much being paid attention. I think
Yeah, I mean, there's actually a common something I do fairly frequently. Sort of rat hole on a particular problem or particular feature that I'm working on, and sort of you look at it really closely, and that fills up my entire vision and awareness of Elite, and then step back and realise this game is huge.
Yeah,
I was looking at sort of one letter of the page.
It is. It's fantastic. It's lovely to see that scale. Well, that's a good point from DJ there. Yeah, actually, the system security actually matters now. Yeah, the response for them has been brought down to something which makes a lot more sense, and I think that's fantastic because it really does bring it back to how I felt about like some of the older games where like no one ever went near Reedquat because that place was deadly. That you don't go there unless you're armed to the teeth, sort of thing. I think that's some of the things that have really kind of driven that point home for me again now that I'm paying a lot more attention to the galaxy map when I'm moving around to systems. I'm kind of checking the systems that I'm going to and seeing what sort of states they're in before I enter them, thinking, is that one going to be safe for me to get to? Is it going to be okay?
We might not have gone far enough yet, but the idea is that anarchies are really dangerous places to be.
Yeah, and that's something I'd really like to see that become a thing. I think once it comes into that kind of presenting the players with the data so they can make the choices they want to make.
Yes.
If they show up in the galaxy map as big red flashing light like do not enter this system, I think once it's at that stage that players can make that conscious decision of like, oh, I'm not going to send my route through there because that place is an anarchy. I think then at that point it can be made so deadly that it it really would take some balls to go there and fight.
It's a difficult thing to do sometimes because there's a lot of times that I've sat down with Sandy to have a discussion about some of the things we'd like to do, and believe me, there's no shortage of ideas, but we keep coming across, that'd be fantastic, but how do we explain it to players?
Yeah, and like you said,
make it so that people know this is something they shouldn't do before they get blown up by it.
Because it's almost like I was trying to think of a way that this might work. Just like the idea of having some kind of warning, like security response flashing up in as soon as you jump into a system, perhaps, which is in anarchy, something like that. But at that point, it's kind of like it's almost too late at that point. But do you want that risk? Do you want that interesting kind of like a player jumps into that system, they're like, oh, no time to scoot, quick, I must head to my next system and get the heck out of here, sort of thing. Do you want that same kind of because I think that would be an interesting gameplay thing. But like you said, it is kind of how do you present it in a way to the player that lets them make an informed decision, lets them feel like they're not being just kneecapped unfairly. Because I think that's what causes a lot of consternation, isn't it?
Between players as well. Some people absolutely love the kind of games, especially into the roguelites and that sort of thing, where games they're praised if they are ruthlessly hard and kill you by surprise. Other people don't get on with that kind of gameplay. Yeah. And there's no easy balance to find there that I know of.
No, I don't think you can. And I think that's something which is always going to be difficult in Elite because it appeals to such a wide range of players. I think because you've got the fact that it just looking at the difference between trading, exploration, and combat, there is such a wide variation of players that fall into all of those categories. I don't think you could ever possibly keep everyone 100% happy. It's never going to be possible. I think
there's even more people wanting Elite to be everything because the sort of space sim and these sci-fi genres have been starved for years, really.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's just lovely to see it come back now with things really taking a kick into a higher gear.
We're part of this resurrection. It's fantastic to see.
Yes, absolutely. I got so many things in my back catalogue on Steam on there. I've been playing a bit of FTL, Faster Than Light. Love that. Really was. Again, like you said, that is one of those games that's like, absolutely punishes you. The number of times I've jumped into a flare star and I'm getting absolutely destroyed within like 3 or 4 jumps, like, but I keep going back to it.
I wonder how it works if I use such and such a word. That was a bad idea.
Yeah, absolutely. What's that from DJ? Also the random number generating crafting players need to look at the way they looked at crafting perfect set for Diablo 3 is actually the same thing. Yeah, I suppose there is an element of that in there, isn't it? The way that Diablo 3 does its crafting system.
Yeah, I mean, Sandy and me are both quite big fans of Diablo 3, but there's so many ways you can do crafting. It's kind of a complex subject for me to get into an argument about.
I can well imagine. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I've got some bounties to hand in there. Let me. Oh, excellent. I'll cash those in later on. I love the flight control. I love that. That is such a nice feature. Just really brings the whole experience together. I think it's fantastic.
Ooh, oh, bollocks. Sorry.
Bitten off more than you can chew.
I got shot a target that I hadn't scanned yet. No, I need to leave.
No. I've been caught out so many times with that. Again, it's one of those things. Is like it initially it's like that immediate frustration, but then I take a second and I realise I was like, yeah, that's actually my own fault. Yeah.
I knew it wasn't wanted, but it was being shot by so many things. I wanted to get in on the bounty before it died.
Yeah, catch that bounty on there. Talaria the Wise is saying, you love that Elite is so difficult and challenging and you're not big on the combat, but it's fun to jump and try and blow things up. Yeah, exactly. It's lovely that there's so many different things that can keep you busy. There's so many things you can try, and it always makes me laugh when people say it's like, oh, they don't know what to do in Elite. You know, it's like, oh, I've done a bit of this, what do I do? I always kind of look at it and think, I don't know what to do next, because there's literally, I could do this week, I could do a community goal, I could help with the power play stuff, it's just too much, there's too much to do. And I want to try and push, I mean, particularly with the dangerous games, I really want to try and push some more of the power play stuff, and like we were saying, going back to right at the very start, Mark, wasn't it, the idea that, you are a tiny little speck of dust in this huge universe, but I think if
enough specks of dust can do things.
Exactly. If enough people could get together with a single unified goal to take over a system, or push a particular power off the edge of that charge or something, it could absolutely happen. And I think I'd love to see some more people like maybe 3 of the powers which are in Empire or Federation kind of working together to push one of the other powers off and things like that. And you do see some of that on the forums, but I would love to see some more coordination between the player bases to do that kind of stuff. And I think it would be absolutely awesome. What's Fiery Toad there saying? Am I going to join the 65k club? I am going to do that eventually. Yes, I come back off a short journey. I'm 14% pioneer now. I'm so close to that triple.
Still well ahead of me, I believe. Yeah, I'm trailblazer.
But still, just so far behind where I should be. It's embarrassing, I know. But I think this is the thing. Is my kind of the way that I enjoy these sort of games is just kind of constantly flitting between different activities and doing different things, and I just love the variation, which means I'm never focused on a particular goal, so I'm never really achieving anything meaningful. I'm just having fun. I'm just, hundreds of hours I spent in it. I mean, let's have a look at my statistics, actually, whilst we're on the subject. It must be...
I mean, I mentioned before, I spend most of my time in combat situations of one form or another, and it's just been since those first 6 months or so, working with Mike to get the flight model nailed. I just love how the ships feel. I can't get over how nice it is just to fly around and dogfight with them.
I love it. I mean, I know there was a lot of people asking, like, why is the yaw nerfed? I mean, way back when, it's like 2 years ago, we're back in the alpha, there was a lot of consternation about that on the forum. But I think it's fantastic. It really does kind of give you that fighter jet feel, which is something which I love. It harks back to the original game. I think it's a lovely tie-in to how it used to feel.
Visually, it's a very different feel to flying if you're using pitch roll rather than pitch yaw.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's something that I mean, I must admit, coming from more of a Frontier Elite 2 kind of experience, I was a little bit concerned at first. I was like, oh, is this going to work? Because I was just used to that, first-person shooter in space sort of feel. But I must admit, it's like within minutes of playing the first alpha, I was like, yeah, this is right. This feels great. It really does feel unique.
There's just the really basic thing that I can't get over. I find it really difficult to play games that use pitch yaw, because once you've got a stick with something like a twist axis, X, Y, and Z are all the same axis they are on the stick physically. Whereas if you swap around Y and Z, my hands don't work anymore.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's like playing it left-handed. It's like, I just can't do it. Can't do it. Oh, sorry if I missed any questions in there. I'm just gonna, why am I belittling you, Mr. Junks? What have I done? What have I done?
I can't say much specific about VR, no, Bitstorm. I know who's working on a lot of the VR code, but I don't directly deal with it myself.
I'm looking forward to what the 1080s bring to the table. Actually, there's some nice things in there.
Yeah, I'm actually, once cards of that class become more common, I'm more keen to see what it does for things like planets.
Oh yeah, oh, yes.
Because maybe a little over technical, but the 980s and similar NVIDIA cards have quite heavily limited double precision performance for CUDA work. The 1080s bring that back to really, really good.
Yeah, that's something that I've been really looking to.
Something ridiculous, like about 32 times faster than 980 or 1080.
And oh god, that's. I mean, the precision you can go down to on things like that. I mean, I know there was a lot of people were talking about things like was it like caves and overhangs and stuff like that, right back when 2.0 was first announced, and people were asking about, we have these features, we have those features, and I think back then I looked at it and I kind of immediately responded that to people, and I was saying like, yeah, I don't think that's really going to be possible. It's not because the engine can't do it, but I think it's because the GPUs are just not going to have the performance to have that extra kind of dimension of noise generation and things like that. It's just.
I'm holding up a big no comment banner.
Yeah. Speculation. But yeah, I mean, I think from because I've toyed around with these kind of things. I've done a bunch of GPU stuff, like ray tracing engines and things. I've played it because I'm such a nerd and I love doing things like that. but yeah, doing it myself, I kind of understand where the issues are, and then when I started seeing some of the suggested performance metrics on the 1080, I was exactly the same. So I think I was like, oh, look at all that lovely juicy double precision performance.
I mean, I've mentioned it more than once. I do quite a lot of just hobby things in ray tracing engine cycles and Blender. I'm just looking at how much faster 1080s would be. I'm thinking, wait, some of those projects I abandoned because they took 10 minutes to render, I might actually be able to do again.
Yeah.
So 10 minutes, I mean 10 minutes a frame. 10 minutes for an image isn't all that bad.
Yeah. But no, that's it starts to kind of really hammer home that we've got that performance to do some crazy things now. And I loved the one of the first projects I did. About 4 or 5 years. Oh, it was a few years back now. Just Pong, just path traced Pong, just to see whether could you get the performance to do that, and it could. It was playable, and it was lovely to see kind of the side effects coming out of it. As the fact that it's like, oh, if I kind of drop down the samples that I'm getting per pixel on here, and it's like you get this lovely kind of effective motion blur for free. It just happens. It's like, oh.
Yeah. So unbiased occlusion or unbiased path tracing renderers are just fantastically fun to play with.
I love it. It's
one of the side projects I've been doing is sort of Elite inspired. Actually, it was a dogfight in an asteroid field, and I've just spent weeks and weeks getting the material for the rock right, and especially the lighting in the sort of fog and dust in the ring.
Oh, awesome!
And I went off to learn how OpenCL shaders, OSL shaders work.
Oh yeah.
To go and start writing. So the shader in the dust field does whole load of raycast to work out what asteroids are blocking nearby light sources.
Oh yeah, that must be. Oh goodness.
Basically, it's trying to hack around the fact that doing correct volumetric scattering would make my PC explode. I love that kind of stuff. I could play around with that. Try it, just saying, well, what happens if I put a huge light here and turn volume scatter on? And about 3 days and several thousand samples later, I just had this noisy mess all over the screen. It would eventually work.
Just
longer than I'm willing to give it.
Yeah, give it a few lifetimes, and it eventually gets there. But no, like you said, going back to the stuff that's coming down the pipe now with some of these newer cards, it's just lovely to see that is becoming something which you could do in real time. The performance is becoming good enough for that to happen. Is that you there with the Fer-de-Lance? Let's have a quick look. It is.
Is it? Oh yeah.
Yes.
Well, I didn't even notice.
There we go.
I was currently just docked here, trying to work out what to do now that I'm in the station and wanted to play it.
Uh-oh!
When does this bounty actually run out anyway?
I was going to say, jump into a suicide winder and boost into the dock.
Bounty expires in a minute anyway.
It's okay then. I'll just sit outside whilst we catch up on the newsletter, because I think we've missed a few things on there. Any questions on there? Telegraph was saying, so will Elite get a DX12 refresh? I don't think we can mention that. I think that David himself said on the live stream that that's not something he can talk about at the moment. But I imagine it will.
Changing to DX12 is not a simple thing to do.
No, it's
fantastic, but it's not simple.
Yeah, it's a complete redo, isn't it? But nice to the extra performance you can get out, because you're getting so closer to the metal as well with DX12. But again, actually,
what a lot of people haven't realised is that what DX12 gives you, it doesn't necessarily make the graphics card any faster, but it means you can distribute the load for the CPU much better, which is not what people expect, but is, at least in my opinion, by far the biggest win from it.
Yeah, of course, and then you free up the CPU for doing other tasks that you want to do with your game thread as well, which is...
Yeah, or as Gaming with Ian says, Vulkan, yes, they have the same advantage.
It's all, apples and oranges, but there we go. It's interesting. I'd like to see what Apple are doing, if they're going to kick themselves into gear and actually kind of support a good API coming down the pipeline. It would be nice to... if they turn around and said, yes, we are going to support Vulkan, but...
I wish I had information I could share.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunate that they kind of... It's that chicken and egg, and we've mentioned it many times before, that Apple don't seem to want to support anything gaming-wise on their platform, which means nobody wants to make games for their platform. So, it just goes round in circles. It's really unfortunate to see us. Apple is leaving the desktop. I wouldn't surprise me.
I need to hyperspace somewhere.
Oh, to get it to clear. Yeah. Okie dokie. Right here. I'm not sure if there's any... I've picked the nearest gas giant here, but it's an icy ring. I don't know if there's any resource extraction.
Yeah, I can't remember if I was in the second or third set of rings, but there were several resource sites there.
Okie dokie. Cool. I'll head over to Mehet 2. And I'll actually, if I send you a wing request, and then hopefully you can drop in.
Clear the station before I pause to accept that.
Yeah, no problem. And then I'll put my
anyone in the docking bay? Nope. Good, we can boost away.
I should drop some bacon. WWDC is in a few days. Oh, excellent. I didn't realise it was Darksmack. Excellent. I'll try and keep an eye on that.
Yes, yes.
Cool, we got you. Let's drop some bacon for you.
Right. I'll be right back. I just need to hyperspace out to the nearest system and clear this bounty.
Roger that. Let's get myself over to this zone and test out this new build. I've kind of... I've not set up myself the same build.
Never mind.
Oh, okay. Plenty of time to play with all the different things.
And to answer a question earlier from Saturnine, this is my personal account. I had a dev account and a personal account that were two separate things, and I got slightly fed up with both of them having different privileges, so I asked Dav nicely and he merged them for me.
Excellent. That's nice. You can kind of give Dav a little, bribe him with biscuits or something like that. A toad, yeah, that is a good point actually. The jumping to clear a bounty. Now I think that was something to do with trying to force people out of an area, wasn't it? If they're being, if you got someone who's being a jerk and getting a big bounty, is to get them to move on, basically, get out of that system. That's
part of the reason, and there were some technical reasons that it was just safer to do this way. It's one of the things that's on my list of I would like to be able to allocate time for someone to go back and relook at. Because
I can imagine there's quite a few things which are triggered on a hyper jump, isn't there? There's kind of
there are a lot.
Yeah, preloading things and caching things from the server and everything else like that. What's that? No, that's I'm not drinking a screwdriver. No, that's just orange. I've been banned from the energy drinks. Yes, Mrs. K has banned me from the... I'm already enthusiastic enough even without those things, but yes, I'm trying to watch my intake of caffeine.
I'm on far too large a dose of Diet Coke at the moment.
No, Saturnine, sorry. I know Saturnine's going to be shocked now. It is not an energy drink, sorry. I know. Petrus was asking now, I don't think that is... PrimeNine can't make that call to move to Linux. That is definitely not his call. Yeah. I know it would be like, again, it's one of the things that comes up so often. People asking like PS4 and Linux, and everyone's always asking, "Oh, put it on this, put it on that platform." if it was that simple, it would be fantastic. But I think it's something which I always say is that, you know, if you could make it on every platform overnight, it would be something you'd absolutely love to do, wouldn't it? I mean, it's obviously it's more players.
Every platform has its own share of support problems, and
Exactly.
especially on Linux, you have so many flavors of Linux using so many different official and unofficial drivers. It would be fantastic. I wouldn't want to support it. I can't say anything officially about yes, no, maybe, future.
No,
Banana.
exactly. No, I wouldn't expect it to. But no, it's one of the things that I think people tend to think is, oh, why don't they do this? Why don't they support my platform? Why, you know, I want it. I'll give you money. And it's like, well, you need to be hundreds of thousands of people wanting it, and it to be a viable.
Ooh, interdiction.
Oh, you've been. Oh, are you back in the system, or you're in a?
Attacked by someone called Pinky Punk.
And watch out for the Ninky Nonk as well, and the Eagle Piggle might be coming along very shortly.
Mostly harmless courier. That's brave.
Excellent.
Oh, in a wing of 3. That might be less brave.
What's that, Petrus? I don't think it's that simple, Petrus. Because I like I said, I appreciate the enthusiasm and people, you know, always want it, but it's, you know, there's, even if they did support those runtime, those binary drivers for those sort of things, there would still be people that would want it that don't use those things. You know, there's always more that people want, and that's the thing. You've got to kind of pick your battles and choose the ones that you can win. I think, and that's the important thing.
I mean, I'm kind of stuck in that. Even if I knew a great deal on the subject, I probably couldn't say. But I'm really no expert on platform issues and Linux compatibility. I know it exists. I know what it is. It's not an area I spent a massive amount of time.
Yeah,
but luckily I wouldn't be the person implementing it. So
exactly, yeah, it's someone else's problem. There you go. That's the way to do it. You put
use Linux while at university, and then realise that I couldn't get any of the games I wanted to run, and just stuck with Windows first.
And that's the great thing. I mean, people don't appreciate the fact that, you know, Windows is a fantastic operating system in that respect. It's got such a legacy that you know, it's crazy not to support Windows this day and age. You know, particularly when you're in building games. Oh, I have an Ashland Guardian there. Deadly Python. Can I take on a Deadly Python? Let's see. This is the first time I've played with this ship in a while, actually. It might be a little bit rusty after exploring for a few weeks. And shields are down.
And it turns out that I'm an idiot. I'll be there in a few minutes.
Oh, okay. Wrong location?
Yeah, I was pointing at the wing beacon, but targeting something else and just dropped out where I am.
Oh no, I've done that so many times.
So I probably have more hours than most in the game, but they're all on debug builds where I'm doing crazy things and playing mostly to find bugs rather than actually play the game.
Yeah, again, that's like I said, I kind of play the same way. That I do all these silly little things and don't focus on a particular target. Oh,
well, the thing is, it's not just that. We've had a bug reported about huge beam laser does such and such a thing in specific circumstances. And the quickest way for me to test that is to debug spawn in a Sidewinder, stick 2 huge beam lasers on it, then fly from, well, just try and debug spawn AIs in front of me so that they're not going to dodge and new to the AI. It all goes a bit strange. I will say that an Eagle with 3 huge force cannons on it is damn hilarious.
Everything's spinning around. Oh, no, that's what I love about it.
I had some fun once we realised that force shells are possibly just a little bit too powerful. Just turning that dial up from too powerful to way too powerful, and quite a long way beyond.
That's the brilliant thing about having dev builds internally, isn't it? It's just playing around with things.
I mean, I spawned 7 Type 9s in front of me, all nose to tail.
Oh.
And gave myself a force cannon that was about 20 times stronger than it should have been.
Just played Skittles. Just
yeah, shoot the back one, which crashed into the next one, crashed into the next one. And it turned out that the first one and the last one was sort of left drifting on low health. The middle all got crushed in the middle. It exploded.
Oh, excellent. Just oh, that eagle's just got to come back. 1%. Where are you? He's trying to stay out of my cone of
Something I
vision.
need to check in with Ian. I do so many silly tests when we're looking at the extremes of some of the specials. I've not actually checked with the community guys if I can record and share any of that, or there's probably some issues that I'm not aware of.
Again, so many comments. Sorry, let's go back to the chat. Actually, I've been looking at all the shinies. Hang on, focus. Oh, look at this. Oh God, this is. I'm gonna have a real trouble with this now, Mark. You realise this is every time I blow up a ship now, I'm just going to be scanning for shiny bits and pieces that fall off. I'm never going to get any bounties done because I'm going to be too busy scooping up all these juicy goodies.
DJ Tarjan, if you're on a section called Silly Things Devs Do, still by far my favourite is sticking the station and capital ship guns on Sidewinders.
Did that actually render with the objects, or did it just the effects of
it? You can't actually see the Sidewinder anymore.
Oh, I love it. That harks back to the days of the what's it? Hollowing out. I don't know if you ever did this on Frontier Elite 2. I don't know if you played the originals this much, but the trick where you could hollow out the cargo on a ship, you could jettison cargo that didn't exist. Did you know that cheat? There was a kind of a bug.
I have to admit, I never actually played the original games.
But this it was one of my favourite things to do. Once I kind of done everything else in the game, I just kind of messed around with other things, and you could set yourself up with a particular. I think it was rubbish and 1 ton of fuel or something. And if you clicked underneath, it would jettison 1 ton of something random from memory. It would just pick a value from memory. And there'd be like 1 ton of this would just get thrown out, and it was fantastic because you'd end up getting a negative hull space. It would go, the integers would overflow, and you'd end up having an Eagle with like 65,000 tons of internal space. So you could fit it with everything, and you could do literally that. You could fit the large plasma accelerator on it, and you fired the damn thing, and it would fill up the screen with cyan. It would just like that. It was just.
There was a bug that I loved. This was way before alpha. Cargo canisters just have items in them, and at the time, more or less everything is an item, and it still is. We just had limits on what's allowed in cargo canisters, but there was nothing stopping you, for example, sticking Coriolis in a cargo canister.
Oh, excellent! Don't open that, guys. It'd be like an inflatable. What's it?
You look at the sidewide. Look at your cargo bay and find that there's 2 Coriolises and Orbis. There's another container with more sidewinders in it.
It's yo dog. We heard you like ships. We put ships in your ships. I've got to stop scooping. Stop me scooping things, PrimeNine. Stop me. Right, let's get back to Pew Pew.
I'm not sure what else.
Let's get back to some Pew Pew. I can see some
Speaking
anaconda.
I just saw a laser beam flying across your bow.
Yeah, I can see. What's this? A mostly harmless anaconda. Come on, scan him. There we go. Got a pew on him. Have you got a shot on him?
Yep.
There we go, 10%. He's going down really quickly. That should be a nice bounty. Let's have.
Everyone wants him dead.
Boom! There we go. 22k. That's not bad. Look at all these.
That is too many materials.
Wow! Look at all.
That's my cargo scooping.
Oh, see, there's rare materials there. This is. I'm never going to get anything done. I'm never going to. Ooh, fragment of bromelite. Oh, that's just.
And here we run into the problem of someone who plays the game with a lot of different control systems. I have no idea which button is for cargo scoop on this.
Oh, did you just silent running?
Yep.
Oh, I'm forever doing that. I need to move it off my controls, I think, absolutely. Sorry, let's go back to what Petrus is saying there. Sorry if I missed that.
Which one's that?
I know, Edwin, there'd be no more art from Bob Ross. I'm sorry. He had a bounty on his head. He had to go. Petrus saying, just explaining why you started to talk about Linux OpenGL render for the game is stuck due to lack of OS X support, not upgrading to 4.3. Linux drivers already support 4.3, and you fully support PS4 version because it makes incredible financial sense. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I wasn't knocking you down at all, my friend. No, don't. I was just kind of.
That would explain it. I have my cargo hatch turned off.
Oh, there we go. There you go. Yeah, I keep doing that actually. Keep killing ships. I will. Yes, Royal Hanky. I will get back to that in a second. Yeah, I'm right on the limit of power usage. So the first thing to go off on the modules is always cargo hatch for me. It's like cargo hatch, and then you forget you've got your guns out. You can't extend your cargo hatch.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. See if we can see.
It wasn't an issue until they actually have things that you want to scoop that don't fit in cargo bay. Because I haven't got one of those.
What have we got here? SFD. There we go. Competent. He's only competent, but he's wanted. Let's get him.
I'll join you again in a few minutes. I'm just going to scoop some of these materials while I wait for my shield to recover from the silent running oops.
Okie dokie, no problem. That's boosting on that one. Pinata style, yeah, absolutely, Patrick. This is the problem. Every time I pop a ship now, it's just I just stop to pick up the candy rather than going after more ships. It's really gonna slow me down. And of course, I don't know if that's one of the things that happens now, Mark. I know the NPCs obviously have had the special engineer modules removed from them. Does that mean that they don't drop the materials for the special things, or...?
No, they still do. That's
okay.
A separate thing. I'm not actually sure what state we are in with the removed modules, because I know some of the... They got left with a few things like lightweight mount and sturdy mount that don't actually affect the combat in any meaningful way. Mm-hmm. But I'm not 100% sure if that means specials are gone from them or not, or just that they have level 1 mod recipes that...
Yeah, like the low end stuff, yeah. Oh, where's that system authority? What is he shooting at? Let's see if we can get in quick. It's an Imperial Eagle. It's going down. There's no shields. I'm not sure if we're going to get there quick enough, but I'm going to go. What's that, DJ?
So many new materials.
I know, there's so much new stuff. I love it when that flashes up in the centre of the screen. So, new thing, yay, new thing. DJ Tarzan said, want a tip from mining materials? If you fit a mining laser on an Eagle and just scoop the materials, no need for a refinery. Oh, that's, yeah, just to discover them. That's a good idea.
Petrus, yes, can't possibly say when or in what manner the AI are going to be getting modified items back again, but I certainly want them to. It's a question of working out where they make the game best.
Yeah. Oh, a federal agent. Is he? No, he's clean. He's clean that. Oh,
and I actually want to reuse some of, not as extreme as they were, but some of the options that people have seen from the surprising recent bug for things like story important NPC pirate lords and other people who have just got hold of completely insane weapons.
I love some of those effects. More questions on that.
I've never been happier when I saw a bug.
Like I said, it's kind of frustrating from the player side of things, but it's so funny to see some of the effects that come out of these things. Like, oopsie. But we've all had our money back now anyway. Loads of questions coming in. Let me try and catch some of these now.
You can still see NPCs with thermal attacks. Not necessarily engineers. The status bar and warning system triggers off a lot of the existing weapons as well. So specifically attributed lasers is obviously a thermal attack. Plasma accelerators is actually both a thermal and a malfunction attack. And railguns are all impulse attacks.
Yeah, and that was, I think that came up on the forum. A lot of people were asking that question. Oh, crikey, he's dead. They're gone.
To a much lower extent than the engineered versions. I think huge plasma accelerators add 10 heat, whereas a retributor adds about 30 a second. And thermal shock is about 35 on an equivalent laser.
Yeah. And I mean, that's one of the wonderful things about 2.1 is it's making the things that were already there more obvious and kind of bringing it to the fore, making people realise that yes, this always was happening. Now you've got a direct indication of it happening, which is quite nice.
I mean, one thing that a few people have noticed, but hasn't really become wide knowledge. If you notice your status bar under your schematic when you're under fire, there's a couple of new icons that show up every time one of your modules passes a health threshold.
I think I've seen that myself.
There's one for several modules have been hit by the same attack, which is generally when you're hit by a missile or similar. And then there's it looks like a pair of parentheses back and forth brackets. Yeah,
a lot of people have been asking about that. Yeah.
Every time that shows up, it means one of the modules on your ship has passed 80%, a third, or has broken. Which are the thresholds at which they get more likely to malfunction. Yeah. Oh, excellent. That's very good to know. Sometimes it flashes is the number of modules that just broke.
Yeah. It's like you're in trouble.
But yeah, I would love to use that system to telegraph more information about your ship. So my personal wish list includes things like currently charging shield cells. Shields are currently actively generating or have recently been damaged. That kind of thing.
Oh yeah, that would be really handy actually. I did notice I can see underneath the ship. Oh, it's gone now. The ship. When you target, you get the little icons there as well, which is really handy to see. It's really nice, so you can see what damage you're doing to the target.
Yeah, initially I wasn't expecting that to work because there were networking issues in getting the buffs and status effects across. And I tried turning it on, and it just worked. So
excellent. I love it when a plan comes together. I've done that so many times before, and
DJ Tarjan, NPCs need to take heat damage the same as players. They do.
Yeah.
They have done for a very long time, but I don't know why no one seems to believe it.
Okay, I think it goes back to, like I was saying, with the just making the effects more obvious to people. Like, people just don't seem to realise that there's so much going on under the hood, but it genuinely is, isn't it? That's the thing, which is
I mean, I saw another question on the forums at a similar thing, and I thought, before I reply, let's actually just fire up the live build of the game and test it myself in a debugger. They are following the same rules for heat. If they cross 100% heat, they start taking damage exactly the same as a player, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
There's certainly no intentional difference.
No, absolutely, and that's the thing. I don't know, like you said, I don't know why people distrust that there's something more going on than there genuinely is. But I've seen the effects happen, and I know for a fact that they do genuinely follow the same rules. So, sorry. Yes, Gaming with Ian. Yes, thank you for putting that back up. I was scrolling back to try and find your question. I did notice it.
Keep interrupting.
No, that's no problem. No, it's lovely to get the answers. Like I said, the icons was something which did come up at the start as well. The Prospector limpets, they do increase the output of the asteroid that you're mining.
Yes, I can't remember how much by, but they do.
Yeah, I've had great success with that, and I think for me,
Eagle just fly into a rock.
He did he tried to avoid me and just bounced into an asteroid. Yeah, he's gone. He's out. Goodbye, Paul Vitruvius. Yes, absolutely. So yeah, it does have an impact on the quantity of rocks you get out. Now, my in-law excuse in my head for that is that the Prospector limpet gives you a detailed scan of the asteroid so that you can more accurately focus your lasers on the area of higher quantities of stuff. So there you go. That's my in-law explanation. That's what I tell myself. You can have that one for free. You can take that to the team on the next week.
I get close enough to the law to be able to make decisions of, well, that's near enough that I'm sure someone can come up with an appropriate fluff reason for it. I'll let them do it.
That's the hand wavium. We love hand wavium. It's awesome. But I think that's one of the things that I love about game worlds, where they kind of leave little bits to your imagination. I like that. It's something that Half-Life did very well. I think when they did, they gave you
not very well.
Yeah, they gave you enough to kind of believe that it's a world that you can imagine has actually got an active. Like NPCs kind of had a meaning and they were doing things and going on, but kind of left enough to your imagination that it was. We've got another one. We've got one there. Python.
I think I just spotted the same.
Yeah, there we go. Got him. Wing of 3. Yep, got him.
Let's annoy the wing.
Yeah, it's a wing of 3. That's fine. We can take a wing of 3. Mostly harmless as well. Right, switch them. Dakadakas. There we go. He's down. Where's his friend? Have you got him targeted? Diamondback?
I've got a scout that's wanted.
Diamondback Scout. Excellent. That must be his friend. Abacus! Greetings, Commander! How are you doing, my friend? Hope you're well. I know you've been very, very busy of late, haven't you, with the dangerous games, so there's a lot of work going on for that. Oh dear. Oh dear. What have I done? I have annoyed the system authority.
Yeah, they don't like you much.
And the shield cell was too late.
I'm watching an impressive fleet of ships follow you, actually.
Whee! Brave Sir Robin ran away. No, that's okay. A local bounty of 480 credits. I hope you're satisfied, coppers.
I'm just hoping. I just realised they're purple to me. I think that means they're not going to turn and attack me.
Power limit exceeded.
Someone's scanning me. That means they're probably a pirate.
I'm screwed. Yep. I'm pretty screwed. Everything's...
You did have a lot of very fast ships chasing you.
Yeah,
Eagles and couriers.
Didn't even notice myself clip the guy. See, I'd really love a I submit option. Yes, officer, I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
Let me...
Oh, damn, someone dislikes me as well.
Let's turn those off. Thrusters are completely screwed. I can't repair them. Which means
You can always reboot repair. If they're actually broken.
I could do that, but I don't think I've got enough time to do that now. They're going to blow me up way
Someone really
before
hates me. I think it might be because I was in a wing with you.
Oopsie. Run away! Run away!
Also, this Sidewinder has more missiles than I usually expect from a Sidewinder.
Pew, pew, pew. DJ, yes, absolutely. I need to pay attention in combat. I did say that, though. I did say that. A number of times I've clipped things by mistake, not realising. I don't think I'm going to... Is that working?
Seeing this eagle firing at me with slug shots reminds me, slug shots are actually really lethal weapons these days.
Yes.
No one seems to have noticed yet.
I know.
I'm complaining about them, but they're really, really powerful.
I want to go back and play with railguns a bit more. Actually, like I said, I've only just fitted this out earlier on this evening, so I want to at least try some of the other weapon types. Come on.
Things that slugshot have, they don't have a huge sustained damage, but their burst damage before the clip runs out is just totally unsurpassed. Because they can fire off 3 shots in under a second. And that deals somewhere around 220 damage, I think, for a large one.
Oh, excellent.
Which is more than torpedo, if you hit with all the pellets.
Crikey. I want to play with these things now. I love just fitting out different things without the outfitting and messing around with the different things. Oh, what's it? I
gave them some pretty powerful specials as well. So basically, if you look at which weapons got which specials, the ones being used less tended to get the really powerful special effects.
You've got to do it. You have to do these things.
So slug shots gained corrosion, which I really is just.
Oh, awesome! I've got to play with that.
It's a kind of a big ship killer. So I don't know how much you remember of the mechanics in that weapons have it's now armor and armor piercing. It used to be hardness and hardness piercing. So the small weapons are less effective against large ships, basically. And what corrosion does is, for starters, if you've been hit by a corrosive weapon, you take 25% increased damage just statically for the next 10 seconds.
I've got to play with this.
It also reduces your hardness by 20, which roughly brings an Anaconda to sort of Cobra level.
Oh, I've got to play with that. I've got to play with it. So many new toys. This is what I love about 2.1 now. It's almost like it's starting again from 1.0 again. It's like there's all of these options and things to play with and kind of learning all these new stuff. So yes,
I would suggest something like an Eagle. You need to get their shields down, but if you can have 2 corrosive slug shots, just get behind an Anaconda and just blow their engines off.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Land gently. I see anything. The chat has just caught up. I'm a lucky git. Yes, brave Sir Robin. Yes.
You did manage to escape. Sorry, I was a little bit distracted with my slight verbal.
That's no worries. If you can jump away by all means now. Let me manage to get away with 9%.
It turned out that they didn't want to aggro at me because of you, but for some reason I managed to aggro 4 different sidewinders at the same, or an eagle and 3 sidewinders at the same time. They weren't in a wing, but they all hated me.
Uh-oh.
They also now have their bounties. So.
That's okay. I'll cash these in before I head back out. But yeah, I think the as I was saying, everyone's saying high rec is a couple of people saying it's like, holy crap, he managed to get out. Kelly Who, yes, I managed to get out. I think it's just knowing all of the things, having the right ship loadout, knowing what you can do with, and realizing that the second that you've done something stupid, that now is the time to turn tail and get out of there. I think a lot of the stories that I read, I mean, particularly, okay, it was unfair when you look at it from the point of view that it was when there were the bugs that were occurring, making it a lot harder. But a lot of the stories that I was reading,
they cause problems.
Yeah, it kind of made it a little bit harder. But a lot of the stories I was reading, there was never any context to it, and people were kind of like, "Oh, I just got blown to hell in this by this eagle or whatever, and he was only competent or something like that." But there was never any context to it. No one would ever describe what was happening in a situation, and
it's really hard when you see reports like that. The first instinct is always, well, you haven't described in detail what happened, so I have to ask how much attention you were paying.
Yeah, and this is the problem I've seen with a lot of things, and I'm always kind of responding to those kind of posts and encouraging people. It's like, well, what happened in this situation? Were you wanted? Were you, what ship were you flying? What loadout did you have?
I mean, either way, we want more information, because either there's an issue that someone can point out and you could have done better, or there's a bug and we need as much information as possible to find it.
Yeah, exactly, and it's one of those things which. It's kind of I'm always trying to encourage people to put as much information as you want. I think for me it's just second nature, because I look at it from the point of view as of a developer as well, and I kind of think
it's much easier if you've had to be on the other end of bug reports.
Yeah, and I kind of look at it and I think, if I was picking this up or was giving it to one of my guys in my team, I'd want to know the ins and outs of every tiny little thing that happened at that particular point. So I tried to make sure that I have that information when I fill in the bug report.
And sometimes it can be completely unrelated things, as far as you're aware, because actually there's some link in the deeper systems that you just don't understand.
No, I can't believe I did that. Sorry.
What? I'm just watching the replay on stream. You appear to be in a bit of trouble with the station.
Yeah, I forgot that I was wanted, and yeah. Boom.
Well done. Well done.
Never mind. These things happen. Let's go back to where I was. Well, at least my bounty's cleared now.
Oh, whoa.
I requested clearance, and then it came up trespass warning, and then I realised that, oh yes, they're going to scan me and realise that I've got a bounty. Didn't pay attention.
I did like a quirk that we had at one point. I'm not sure if it's actually still there, but if you were silent running up to a station that would hate you, you wouldn't be on its sensors. Until you request docking, at which point you're suddenly on its sensors and it blows you up.
Yeah, just boom, boom. Because
they're requesting docking. Yes, sir. Wait a minute. Yeah. We know you.
Hang on. I've seen you from. Because wasn't that? I mean, that was added in.
Yeah, you shot Fred.
Yeah, that's it. Fred. Yeah. Boom. You're out of there. You're out. Let me re-enable all my modules now. I
spent a very fun, quite a long time making the station guns as accurate and lethal as I could make them.
I'm ridiculously powerful. I'll notice.
Actually, that powerful compared to some of the guns players can get now. They're just very, very accurate, and there's lots of them.
Yeah, I love the way they light up, though. I must admit, when someone comes along and it's just the absolute barrage of kind of multi-cannon fire, laser fire, and everything. Awesome on there. Awesome. Yeah, everyone's catching up on it. Totally called it. Yeah, Petrus. Yeah, I should have paid attention. I was reading the chat. I wasn't paying attention on there. Insignificant cat. Yes, I should have high-waked out to clear the bounty first. I wasn't looking at. I saw the timer in the corner of my eye. I saw the timer ticking down for my bounty, and then stupidly just did not pay attention to what was going on.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I was just lucky enough not to get scanned. Then found myself in the station that I was wanted at.
See, that's what I've done before. I'm just not even thinking about it, and kind of landed, and I was like, oh, yeah, I was wanted here. Not even realising I've done it. But that was it. Game
That's not because the game didn't tell me. I'm just a prune.
Yeah, I've done it. Yeah, I've done it so many times. I think we're all vulnerable to making those kind of mistakes. I think we should probably. It's coming up to nearly 1:45, so let's get back to the newsletter. Make sure we haven't missed any bits and pieces. I think we've talked in depth. Yeah, we've skimmed over it. We've skimmed over it briefly. We have talked in depth about 2.1. Obviously, that's been the highlight of the evening. It's been great fun to get into 2.1 properly. Now I've been so busy these last couple of weeks. I've missed a lot since the beta.
Yeah, it's my first chance to get into it with my real account as well.
Xbox One as well. That's the highlight for today. Xbox One Horizons is available now. 2.1 brings everyone in sync, which is awesome. Awesome news to see it on that platform as well. And
I expect to see many Xbox players crashing into planets.
Yeah, it's got to take a bit of getting used to. I must admit, it's got to be.
You'll probably find my wreck there when you do.
Oh yeah, I see. I think I need to take a bit of an excursion, get down onto the planets again, and find some more wrecks and things out on there. What's that, DJ? You saw a mercenary's friend sit in front of a station being healed with one healing beam, sustaining all of the damage the station and the police could put out in the beta. Wow, that is some heck of a healing beam.
Yeah, huge beams with regeneration do quite a lot. And as I said, the weapons aren't actually that powerful in terms of DPS. They're just relentless and very long range.
Xbox players can seem to be enjoying the planetary landing. I bet. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's. I've wanted everyone to be able to see it on the platform because it just shows how fantastic the game is going to be. You know, it just kind of really gives a sense of that scale of the game. I think, you know, it's, as much as seeing the galaxy map is fantastic, but getting right down onto the surface and realizing how completely insignificant you are when you get out and look at your spaceship underneath, it's like, my goodness, this game is absolutely enormous. So it's fantastic that Xbox players can appreciate that firsthand now.
Every now and then I just have to sort of stop and thank the audio team for doing such a fantastic job. Just had a volley of missiles fly straight past my cockpit.
It's like, oh shit. Yeah, I still do it, even without the head tracking enabled or not using the Oculus. I'm still ducking and like going through these things and seeing things get close to you like that. Saturnine planetary landing is become almost obvious for us. Yeah, it has. Yeah, and it's we forgot how special it is. Yeah, and that's one of the things that, you know, I'm always championing it and saying it's like, you know, this is just fantastic when you look at it and realize what you can do. Particularly when you find a nice little binary planet and you think, I could go to that spot there on that planet, that thing right there, I could fly to that now. And it just puts it into perspective how amazing it is. So yeah, you're on Xbox and it's great. The SRV missions are proving difficult to find though. Oh, I'm not in a station where I can show you any SRV missions, but yeah, no, it's fantastic. It brings so much more to the game, doesn't it? Just getting out onto the surfaces, doing the missions on there. Yes, as DJ saying, the higher standing you have with the factions, it works. So maybe do a few more missions to get a better rank, better rating with them first, and you'll see new ones pop up. Again, this is something which is new to 2.1, isn't it, Mark? The mission board now makes that a bit more obvious. That
yeah. So there's a lot of mechanics that were already there that are now just being explained better, basically, and there's a lot of tweaks to make it internally make more sense as well.
Yeah, and it's
attacked on a lot of different fronts there.
Yeah, exactly. It's excellent to see. And Talaria the Wise is saying, there's missions for the SRVs. I think this harks back to the comment from David Braben, wasn't it? That there's things in the game that players haven't even seen. You know, or the vast majority of players have not even attempted to do particular types of missions and things on there.
There's probably features that I've forgotten even exist.
Yeah. So just to highlight the point there, so people can see what we're talking about now. So up in the top right, with this particular faction here, you can see my reputation is neutral because I've not really been to this system or done much with these people yet. But if I kind of do some of these other quick missions with them, these delivery missions and things, build up my reputation, eventually I'll get more missions. So you can see a mission here, I think, which is a surface-based mission. Deliver. Oh no, this is just to deliver to a surface base. I think that one.
The only trouble with fighting an ice field is that those Imperial ships have very, very good stealth.
Yeah, it's like
exactly the same colour as the rock. I couldn't tell I was shooting one.
They blend in. So, that's why I got to think twice about using my midnight skins on those. I do like the black skins on the Imperial ship, though. It's nice having a thing.
My favourite. I don't think it was released as a skin because it was just a bit strange. But my favourite thing that I saw the artist mock up was just skins of a ship with a different ship painted on them. That's things like an eagle with a sidewinder just painted on the roof, and otherwise black.
That's brilliant. That's a nice kind of troll thing, isn't it? It's almost like you can imagine it.
We did notice when we did that if you look at an eagle and anaconda in profile view, they're different sizes, obviously, but the shape is very, very similar.
Oh, that must be. See, you can have so much fun on your dev builds. I must admit, you must have amazing fun doing things like that.
Yeah.
Toad's
it's just one of the profiling scenarios I use for performance testing in combat is just here's 50 ships, they hate each other. Go.
Just to see how the engine copes. See how large scale battles like that. I love seeing things like that in the conflict zones and things. It's awesome.
It's a stress test above what the conflict zones should be able to get to, just so we can say repeatedly, run this, profile it.
Yeah. How much headroom you've got for adding additional things in and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, that and comparing when we just made a change, did it get better or worse, or how much better, or many other options.
I just want to answer a quick one here from Highway Cavalier. Yeah, if you sell commodities, it also increases the faction rep, but I think it only increases it with the controlling faction of this dock. So for this one, it's the Mahet Limited.
Yes.
Yeah. So there are various things you can do to increase that reputation. Some of the examples of the missions I've seen on SRVs, the ones my favourite one is the rescuing people that have crash landed nearby. I just love those things. It's just where you get the occupied escape pods and you have to head out and pull them back in.
Holy!
Oh,
Sorry.
very very close call there.
Yeah, I shot an asp. It turned around and fired 5 missiles at me.
So I love the missiles. I love the new missiles in the game. I've actually
It's now continuing to volley dumbfires into my face. But luckily I have shields, so...
I've set myself up with torpedoes, I think, since the first first alpha, I think, or first beta. It's just so much fun now.
While we had the weapons bug, I did find a torpedo beam laser hybrid.
Oh...
So it fired torpedoes as fast as beam laser.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Completely lethal at everything.
I would love to have that
If
weapon.
catch it.
That'd be great fun. Insignificant cat. Yeah, Toad is on his way back from Isham's Reach. It's a system I got targeted here. Was it 65,647 light years is now the new record for the furthest distance from Sol. So congrats to Toad. Been there, done that. Coming home. He's on his way back now.
Promise I won't cheat to beat that.
Yeah, just teleport around.
It was so tempting just to teleport ahead of him and be there waiting when he has space into the last system.
Hi Toad! It's like, what are you doing here? Oh dear. No, I've got to play with it. You've got a 50.47 light years jump range you've got at the moment, Toad, and that's without any kind of materials to enhance it. So that's crazy. I've got to play around with these. I love that. How many... I've got...
I managed to wander about 30 kilometres from the scenario.
Let me head back. Actually, I've cleared my name. I am no longer a wanted man. I am a Wazak, though. That's absolutely right. Yes, as Sam Isham is there in the chat. I am a Wazak. Yes. No DJ. No. Toad. Yeah, no, there was. I saw the responses from that. Toad did manage to get there on. He got there on beta, and he's got there on live. He's done it. It is officially recognised in his name. So. Oh! I forget that this ship is a little bit taller. I always do that. Damn it.
Ooh. It's a further lance to go and have an evil twin fight with. Or is it the good twin?
Right. Let's get my ass back out there. Only got 10 minutes left, so let's get back to the newsletter. We have digressed again. It's too much fun. Damn it, Mark! You've just put too much gameplay into this game. It's just too much fun.
I'm trying to go back to our memory. So, have I said anything I really shouldn't?
No, I don't think so. We've got the speculation banner, so anything that anyone says, I can just leave it up permanently, and it's just everything you say is speculation, and we're golden. We're done. So yes, as we were saying, unfortunately I don't get to claim on this, but anyone who did manage to get blown up during 2.1 and the current update will get their rebuy cost back, which is nice, from the Pilots Federation. Going on to what I think Abacus put the link in for the story that he's been working on over the last couple of nights. But the dangerous games are playing out, and it's starting to get really juicy now. You're getting seeing these factions that are working together, and like I said, this is something I really want to see, is a vast group of players working together to achieve a goal, and knock one of these powers out and become the first player group. And I think someone did say in the chat actually that the first player power that gets into the chart, they can see them wiping the floor of the other players, and I think that's something which I could see happening actually, is if it's a power which has been built by the players for a cause that they can get behind. I think that's going to be...
Yeah, it'd be really interesting to see what that would do.
Yeah, I
just got crashed into by an anaconda. Thank you very much.
Whoopsie. Kelly Who, my guest this evening is none other than PrimeNine, Mark Allen from FDev.
Good evening, Kelly Who.
Oh, so he's just there you go. Just put it in the thing. The delay in the chat. Gotta love the delay in the chat. Yes.
I have to admit, I've been glancing over at chat, but I've been far too focused on not crashing into rocks for half of the stream.
It is. This is the point. It takes a heck of a lot of concentration. Yeah, but never mind. If I blow up, I blow up. Never mind. So moving on through the newsletter as I'm on my way back to the ring system now. So another Danger Zone CQC live stream. I believe that's a typo in the newsletter. I think Ed is not expecting us to all jump in our time machines and go back to this Tuesday, which is just gone. I think he is talking about next week.
Every time I see links to those events, the thumbnail that Twitter and YouTube give me is always the one that I was on. Even though that's quite a while back now.
It's always Mark.
Every stream that I see announced from the Elite Dangerous YouTube channel, it's just locked with my face on it.
Oh, excellent. So yeah, I believe that's going to be the 7th, Tuesday the 7th of June for that CQC Dangerous matchup there. Oh, I can see. I love that. It's the subtle little things that people don't appreciate in the game. Is the fact that in the background I could hear my FSD starting to struggle in the gravity well of the gas giant as I was approaching, and I immediately know that it's time to turn the newsletter off and go back to the screen so I don't slam into the planet. Love it.
It's the loop of shame.
The loop of shame. You know it's going to happen. What have we got here? Unidentified signal source. You're still in the low extraction site at the moment?
Yeah, I'm still exactly where you left me. I've just been flying around shooting things.
Okie dokie. Let's...
Realising that I really should have loaded up that shield cell bank before I came.
Yeah, I fired mine off way too late at that point. I may have got away with it, but never mind. See, it's picking your fights and knowing when to run. Saturnine saying, forever famous. Get used to it, PrimeNine.
Yeah, going into that CQC stream, I kind of had the impression that either I was going to be quite good or really terrible. And I really wasn't sure which it was.
It is a completely different feeling, I must admit. I mean, I think that's why I love going back to the CQC matches. Is it just kind of it just reinvigorates my love affair with the small ships and the kind of the maneuverability of them and that kind of fighter things on there.
Actually, I noticed a couple of times that I had to sort of pull myself back with the goal of wait, I meant to be getting kills here, not just flying and enjoying the scenery.
It's like, ooh, look at it. I think I did that for the first few streams, actually. It was just like all these new details on the buildings and stuff, and I was like, ooh, just kind of looking at the features. And I'm terrible for that.
I just caught myself running away from combat, basically just canyon running through the scenery. And, wait a minute, deathmatch. Turn around.
Oh, Chris is off. See you in the void, Commander. Thanks for joining in tonight.
Fly dangerous.
Oh, see, I'm not sure whether that's something new as well. It's just kind of like the bumpiness of the ice rings just look more pronounced than they did. Oh,
yeah, a lot of the textures did get adjusted. I don't remember the details, but I know there was some changes to stop the radial textures banding or repeating so much.
Excellent. That's
I'm
awesome.
not sure what else has been touched.
Oh, I love finding things like that. It's really. Oh, I'm an idiot. I knocked my shield. I had my shield on priority 2. I must have hit that whilst I was fumbling the stuff on last. Let's wait for that to recharge. Never mind, we get that. Yes.
Ow!
Oh, you're getting pewed. I can see you. I can see you in the distance, but I can't. I'm 15 clicks out.
I wasn't expecting. It was all going perfectly, and then that Python turned to face me, and it's got bigger guns than I thought.
DJ, you've got an 8-to-1 KD ratio on CQC. That is much better than mine.
That's well played.
That's really good, yeah. I don't play it for that. I just play it because it's fun. I like the pew-pews. I'm going to head on into you now and wait for my shields to recharge on there. Commander Malik, any news on whether or not we get any kind of storage anytime soon? I don't think that's going to be anytime soon. I think that's a feature which has been requested many times over, and it's definitely not going to come in a point release. It's going to be a bigger update later on.
I think all I can say is we've seen the requests.
Soon TM. Fiery Toad suggesting you stay away from the pointy end. So that's good advice. I must admit I try to stand by that advice.
Yeah, I kind of got myself in a bad situation where it was get in front of the pointy end or get into a rock. So.
That's a worst kind of situation to be in, I must admit. And I'm gonna be getting into more pew-pews before I finish this. Let me. Where do we get back to? Yes, so the Reddit AMAs, fantastic to see the interaction that's going on the subreddits, actually. It's if you don't get chance to spend time in the forums, at least try and drop into the subreddits that are going on.
Yeah, I spent a huge amount of time today just sitting on the forums and Reddit refreshing. Just, please say no one's seen hybrid weapons. Please say no one's seen any.
Hopefully it's all good. There's a couple of highlights in there I want to point out on there. There's a flight assist off docking challenge, fastest person to dock with flight assist off. Now I must admit that's damn hard. You know, I've done speed docking.
Has anyone told the station to reinforce the back of the docking?
Yeah, you might want to put that in a patch. I think that's got to get in there. But yeah, I mean, I've done it. I've done flight assist off landing. I've done speed docking. I've not done both together. That's going to be an interesting one. I'm hoping to have a quick go at that. Like, get in on that some of that action. How are you looking there? Are you or your shields are back up? Are they? Who have you got there?
Almost. I'm just foolishly engaging a sidewinder, realising it has two wingmates, and I've got no idea what the wingmates are.
I did find him, actually. Yeah, that's the one I scanned as well. Jets. He's down. Where's his wing?
Rock. Oh, ice.
Asteroid there. What was another one? Who's that? There we go. Sidewinder. Oh, no. I couldn't get a shot on him before the guns come out.
No, I think it was a wing of three sidewinders, and with the number of annoyed anacondas around, sidewinders don't last
There,
long.
pew pew pew. You gone. Oh. That's what I love about the lasers give you that. Oh, and he's gone. He's gone.
I think I just played bullet catcher to one of the anaconda's plastic arrows.
Uh-oh. Yeah, your shields took a bit of a hit there. Let's give that a second to back up. What's that many questions in there? Heavy drinker, do I need cargo capacity for exploring, to store stuff, for jump only, or fix your SRV? No, you don't need cargo capacity for the materials. Materials are completely separate.
No.
That has been doubled, so up to 600, which is huge. That's a huge amount of stuff. Because obviously there's a whole bunch of new materials. You can get all these manufactured elements and things like that. So it's great to have that extra storage capacity. The things you may need cargo for is when you're going out, you might find crash sites when you're exploring. There might be some occupied escape pods, that kind of thing. So you may need some cargo for that. You know,
Yeah.
When I'm out in an ASP or something bigger for exploring, I tend to just put a few tons of cargo space, 4 or 8 tons or something like that.
Yeah, it's always worth carrying just in case you come across something strange.
Yeah, the other
I'm very
things.
tempted to replace my shield cells with cargo bay, actually.
Yeah, I've got nothing on this one, but I'd
I've
love to see
got
them.
shield cells, but I use them so rarely. Or more accurately, I remember to use them so rarely.
Yeah, I must admit I kind of used them in angst when they first came about, and I kind of got used to not having them anymore. So it's nice that it's kind of there's so many variations. There's things I keep chopping between different places.
Shield cells have been a sort of a bugbear for balance in both directions for quite a long time. I think they're in a good place now. We're still watching to see if anything else needs to change.
That's a very good. Sorry.
They should always be useful but not required.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's given options, letting players make the decisions to play the way they want to play. I think this is the cool thing. Very good point there from Toad, actually. Yeah, cargo equals mass equals lower jump range. As long as your cargo racks are empty, they're not going to cause an effect. But as soon as you start picking stuff up, you're going to lower your jump range. So yeah, heavy drinker, if you are going out and exploring, bear that in mind. You don't want to get yourself stuck in a system somewhere and you're carrying too much and you just can't get out of that system then. Take fuel tanks. Yeah, I mean it's good to have a couple of extra fuel tanks. I tend to load up my explorer ships with a few extra fuel tanks. But again, the same.
Stop telling Kerrash to shoot me, Mike.
No, Snoz, you're such a troll. You just want me to call for. I have got you targeted. I could target you now. Yeah, bear in mind that fuel tanks follow the same effects as well, heavy drinker. That if you fill up the fuel tanks, it's more mass, so it's going to lower your jump range. There's going to be a sweet spot where your ship can have a higher jump range. So bear that in mind as well. That when you're scooping to kind of, if you bounced off a rock there. It's not saying shoot him. Best shield you can have is your brain and huge asteroid between you and the enemy in asteroid field. Yep. That's it. Saturnine, no. Materials effectively have no mass. They do not affect the jump range in any way.
They're in a magic pocket somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Magic backpack. You have an infinite backpack. Crash from Droid there, Droid1138. Do I use do you mean Coriolis.io, the website? I have used that in the past. That's a great kind of tool for playing around with things.
I really want to see what they're going to do with engineered items.
Yeah, I feel sorry for the guy that built that, because there is a heck of a lot of new things that needs to be added in. So yeah, but yeah, it's great to kind of at least get a baseline, kind of play around with a few ideas, and kind of think that yeah, that's a loadout that might work, and then I go in, bring it into the game and tweak it and experiment with it and play around with it. Pixie Sophie, greetings, Commander. Nice to see you there. Fiery Toad says 7A fuel scoop for the win. I know, the Star Eater. Just gone, star gone. It's really, really nice. I fit that on my Anaconda as well when I went exploring. Really, really cool. Let's jump back. What else have we skimmed over in the newsletter? I think there's a few. I think the prize for those Reddit challenges is the HCS voice packs. Let's go down to the community goals. Yes, the Diamond Frogs have succeeded in their appeal for the hangover cleanup supplies, which was awesome. I love that one. That's so funny.
I don't get to see a lot of the internals of the community stuff, so it's hilarious to see what comes out.
It's brilliant.
Almost as a spectator on these.
Oh, it's fantastic. So the one before was the party supplies. They had a fantastic party. I'm not showing the thing up on there. The biggest party in the galaxy, the best party the galaxy has ever seen, has been lauded as, and then they had the cleanup crew go in there. So there was, I think it was hazmat suits and caffeine. I think coffee. Coffee's brilliant. Love those community goals in there. It's really fast. I love the kind of taking part. It really kind of becomes like a central hub for the community. Everyone gets in on an area to get there. How far are you now, Fiery Toad? I can see you going back. What was it? Something like 54,000 light years or something. You're on your way back. Only 289 million for a 7A fuel scoop. Yeah, only. That's all right for people with,
That's slightly more than my entire worth.
It's all right for these people that have billions in their credit supplies. I see that's his next goal when he gets back is 47,000 light years to go, Toad. My goodness, you are rocketing along. Jesus.
I'm wondering if Ed's actually going to get back from his trip before 2.2 comes along. At this rate, I'm not sure.
He'll make it. He'll be home by Sunday. Yeah, I can imagine that, Toad. I can imagine you getting back on there. Interesting little bit from the Galnet thing as well. On there, a number of starports that were forced to suspend services due to the unknown artifact interference have been restored to normality through the application of metal alloys. Yeah, mostly normal.
I mean, don't look too closely.
Yeah, it's just But no, it's interesting. I wonder what's happened to Jacques' station. Actually, has Jacques made it? Is he still lost in hyperspace?
Possibly so. Partially, because I have no idea. But
who's that? Sorry, what's that? Shannon, you're talking about Ed? 12 jumps a stream. Is that all that Ed's managed to get?
Yeah, he goes. I think he was saying he was going about 3,000 light years a week or something, and he had 50 to go.
Oh, bless. I love his streams. I love his biscuit reviews. It's good fun. Took you 26 hours to get there. My goodness. Or I'm being scanned.
Scanning me. And telling me that I have valuable stuff. They are clearly lying, but that means I can kill you.
So let's carry on through. So the Pixel Bandits are doing a celebratory stream for the launch on Xbox One. So that's tomorrow. If you can get over and join with that, that'd be really, really awesome. I must get my Xbox version updated. I've got the PC version updated. I've not got my Xbox version updated. I must get back on and update that, and then hopefully I can join in and say hi to a few people. 3,000 light years a week.
I was slightly embarrassed that the last console I owned was a Game Boy Pocket.
I've still got. Where's my Game Boy? I've got my original Game Boy.
It still works. I found it in a box yesterday. Oh, not yesterday. Last week.
I did. I showed. I had the original one. I showed it to my boys on there, and they were fascinated with it for about 10 minutes, and then they wanted the iPad back. It was like, there's no color. I can't see the screen unless you hold it under a light in just the right kind of way. Yeah.
Batteries last just long enough to get to the next save point.
exactly. How things have come along, and now there's us looking at things like 1080s and things like that.
Oh, there's a fantastic video. There's a YouTube channel, I think, that just does kids react to old bits of tech.
Oh yes, I've seen that.
My favourite one was still showing them a floppy disk, and their immediate response was, "Wait, someone 3D printed a save icon?"
Yeah, what's? Oh, I love it. I love it. It just brings it to the forefront. You think, yeah, I mean, that doesn't mean anything to anyone. There's people like us making this software and using, that to me means save it to disk. And then the people using the software these days are like, they don't even use these things. What are these icons?
Yeah.
It's a completely different
I haven't owned
paradigm.
a floppy disk or a drive in probably 15 years.
No, I think the only ones I have to hand is the original Frontier discs that I have right here. And of course, they've got to be. Oh, I say right here, I can't reach them. It's out of reach.
Closer than mine.
But I do have them. I do have them on there. I think the only other things, we have gone over the community goals on the newsletter this week. Actually, obviously, there's 6 community goals. I think that's the most community goals I've ever had concurrently on the game at one time.
It's a fair chunk.
That is quite a few community goals. But obviously, most of them are related to the dangerous games which are going on in the moment. So I will be getting back and helping out the UGC. Obviously, the UGC have been fantastic for me. They've helped me out with a load of things in the past. So I will be jumping in on the community goal to help the UGC. But I implore anyone who is able to get in and help out to get on that community goal and support your player base that you want to become a player, because that's going to be really, really cool. What's this from DJ? DJ's got something
Very
for us
true,
here.
DJ Tarzan.
1980s. Yeah, I like that.
I actually joined the population of people who have a smartphone about 3 months ago.
Yeah, no, I was very late to the smartphone revolution as well. I kind of put it off, and now I can't put the damn thing down because you can do so much on it. You can do so much on it. It'd be awesome. But I think we should probably wrap it up. Actually, we've gone a little bit over tonight. I don't mind though. We've been having great fun. It's been great to chat to you. I'm going to say thank you very much, Mark, for.
It's been great fun to come along.
It is.
Apologies if I kept just derailing things slightly.
No. That's what it's all about. It's a lovely chat about the Universe Elite and everything around that. I think it's just fantastic to see how the game's evolving. And again, congratulations on 2.1 and on Xbox release on there. It's fantastic to see it.
Thank you.
Absolutely awesome. Thank you to everyone in the chat. It's really, really awesome to have you along and asking all the questions on there. Hopefully we answered as many of your questions as we can tonight. It's lovely to have you on there. Petra, yes, thank you. Welcome back. Yeah, it is nice to be back. Nice to be feeling a lot better again. And it's absolutely just wonderful to chat to you folks. So thank you very, very, very much. But until next time, see you in the void, Commanders.
I say, or don't.